Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you. Police or zombie problems? Your tortoise won't stop breakdancing?
Try blue tape.
The miracle of our age. Yay!
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUY. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me. I'm a man.
You know what? I talked to your mayor.
Deceive, hiding from the lawsuits, a new trick up your sleeve. Paperwork, flimsy truth, taking a dive. Drowning paperwork, then buried alive. Fraudulent baller, playing the game. Dodging the heat while fueling the flame. Thinking you slick? Now we see through the scheme. Bankruptcy, fraud, that's stealing the dream. Stacks of life folded, origami finesse. You're bleeding broke, but your dollar screams success. Got the 56K, the attention, the bond so sweet. But in court you crying, I can't make ends meet. Heavy face with Bruce, gavel about to drop. Your lies are crumbling, your case is a flop. Fake tears streaming, crocodile flow. But the fraud you pulling, everybody knows. Fraudulent baller, playing the game. Dodging the heat while fueling the flame. Thinking you slick? Now we see through the scheme. Bankruptcy, fraud, that's stealing the dream. Money trail messy, footprints in the sand. Everybody watching, receipts in their hands. Lawyers on your neck, think you know what a scheme. But your team discussed it all on their live stream.
Now you're posting balloons about selling your jewelry? Your jewelry in Dinkley? Are you kidding me? 3 cellular providers now produced in Discovery. Are any of those brain cells on?
You lied to the court and left your donors misled, saying 6K was for fighting when you'd already fled. Winning the case, this is only delays. A courtroom race and you running relays.
Stop selling jewelry. Stop taking out loans. Seriously, stop.
What's up, folks? Man, today has just gone crazy. The last few hours have absolutely gone, well, I shouldn't say off the rails because it's really funny. But in the last few hours, we have actual bankruptcy stuff. Woohoo! We have Stupid Dave, not off the hook. We have, let me see. We also have everything we didn't catch up last night. We have the camper stuff where apparently John Cook was able, according to them, to finance a camper. So where they've been trying to take $5,000 from people, that's not good. We have so much, so much. Oh, Lord. And two of these things really point out gigantic lies in the last few weeks, too. You know, the ecosystem and Lynette have been telling us that we're all stupid, right? The bankruptcy was back on. Yeah, it's been on for weeks, right? That's what they've been telling us. Yeah, you remember that? Okay, well, check this out. This is going to be real fun because I can't wait for the I can't wait for the message beside the messages for this, right? So today, check this out. This is a posting by Lynette Preston saying bankruptcy is in effect filed this afternoon. Wait, I thought the bankruptcy was back on and had been on for like a couple of weeks now. They've been telling us we're all liars and we had no idea. You know, that was a straight up lie that has been going on with the ecosystem. You had an order come in today, which again is great. This is the greatest thing ever. These people have no idea how badly the bankruptcy being in effect impacts Lynette Preston. This, oh my God. They will find out. They will. They'll find out. Because again, the level of access that they've allowed, where they've tried to shield someone out of other stuff. Oh my God, it's so good. But they've been lying about this. I mean, for weeks. Again, I don't know how much I can't stress this enough. Not only that, but they have been actively promoting this bankruptcy idea, right? They've been promoting it for weeks, and they were trying to take loans out. Now, again, if you look up the idea of taking unsecured loans and whether or not that's considered fraud, it becomes a real issue there. Because here's the thing, if you take out loans and you're filing bankruptcy right at the moment that that's going on, the courts, they see that as you not wanting to pay the money back. You have no interest in doing that. In fact, you've been saying you can't pay your loans back. So if you would have taken loans where they were begging for $5,000, well, now they're begging for $500. And what's really wild about it, so Lynette put up a bunch of pictures of a camper. These pictures, now again, I'm not saying it's not the same one, but it's interesting because the pictures that she puts up are from a 3-year-old video on YouTube. Now, again, maybe the same thing. I don't know. But it's weird that, you know, it's coming from a Camper World because it's attached to Camper World. That's what the video is anyway. So if this thing was being financed through Camper World, why doesn't she know that it has all its hoses and stuff? Like they don't exactly do sight unseen. But I mean, there's been a lot of weirdness today. Again, fun time stuff, but weirdness nonetheless. And that doesn't even count the stuff going on where Megan and the Laura Owens mess. Holy God, the stuff that happened there. By the way, I'm going to note this. So over the next 30 days, there has been some madness that has kicked off with Laura Owens stuff. And they will probably do about a $3,000 or $4,000 fundraiser for something. It will be important, so it will have to be. Now it's not happening tonight, but it will happen. When it does, it will be something to pay attention to, and if people can help with, for sure, get the word out. Even if you don't are part of it, get that word out because Laura Owens is in a world of trouble. A world of it. Things went so bad. Oh my God. So, I mean, you have all this madness, but with Megan out there covering that, again, that counts as her being away. And if she's away, you know how things go. You know that they turn crazy. Now, on top of this, which we will look at in depth, of course, but on top of this, you had an order slip down the pipe too. Let's check that out as well. This one's a fun one because we were told that this could not happen. Yet another lie from the ecosystem. This would be in Fed too. This is, again, we'll look at the thing, but I'll just tell you what it is. This is about Stupid Dave. This is about service. Now, we were told that number one, they would never extend, right? Because that can't happen. And publication, that won't happen, right? They won't allow service by publication. That's what the ecosystem keeps saying. Even though, again, it has been noted by the judge that that is allowed. And if you've shown good faith effort, that would happen. So, well, how did this turn out for them? And again, we'll look at the document here, but I just want you to know the deadline to complete service on Stupid Dave is retroactively extended by 90 days to September the 2nd. And as far as the deadline to serve is now December the 1st. And as far as service, it is permitted by publication under Wisconsin law. So, Stupid Dave and all the ecos, they've been telling you, they've been lying to you. Again, what we've been saying. The judge made it clear. Publication is allowed. They will extend because there were good faith efforts. And these people he's been dodging his subpoenas. So he's not going to be let off of the freaking laws. It's just not going to happen. They think you can just dodge. And if you dodge long enough, that there's no way, unless somebody serves you physically. Well, that's not allowed. That's just not how it works. He would be better off because he keeps talking about, oh, I'm so stressed. They're after me and all this. Well, accept service then, man. You know? I mean, again, I don't know what to tell you there. Oh my God. All that pops off. We had, by the way, there was a great Miyagi video as well, pointing out just some absolute lies, just bold face, absolute lies from 2L and the gang, talking about how Miyagi had, she was a donor, a backer. She had backed banners, and she made a good point, actually. The things that she backed, she bought banners. They were supposed to be hung up. They had talked about burning her banners, and they lied about all this stuff. So they just, that's yet another, just a bold-faced lie that they put out there about how Miyagi did this or that. And Miyagi shows quite a bit of proof in this video. So, of course, they've been talking about, we're going to false flag that because they can't stand. They put out fair use warnings. If fair use warning, again, fair use allows you to critique what people are saying online, whether it be me or whomever. The thing is, they are talking about Miyagi too. So Miyagi put out a banger video on that. God, there's been so much there. There was also, I really wanted to get to the crazy transcript from, we talked about it a little bit last night, but I'd been going through it throughout the day. This was the Sunday Fun Day one. Holy crap. The amount of attacking for the big donor. Holy moly, man. But I guess that's going to be another day as well. There's, like I said, there's a pile of stuff. On top of that, would you all like to see something amazing? I want to show you two cool things. These are just, it's cool. They're random cool, but still cool. Give me 1 second. Let me pull number one up first, you know. Oh, I love these. Give me 1 minute here. Now, like I said, there has been so much wildness and stuff. But one of the things that I've been talking about, check this out, I love it. Polyflop, baby. You too can get your own polyflop gear. Love it. Love it. I think this is funny too. So on top of that, if you would like to tell people we are live today, if you would like to hit that like button, you know, make comment. That way the algorithm notices you, even if it's like, yo, or whatever. If you want to go there, but if you'd like to go further, you know, apparently there's some whoppers out there. There's some deluxe whoppers that they seem to really get butthurt about that stuff. So if you like backing channels and you like what we do, bam, consider it and thank you. There was a lot of butthurt the last few days, and I've been enjoying watching it too. It's been really funny to watch roll in. So let's polyflop indeed. I love that. I like the. Give me one other thing I want to show you. Thank you, lurkers, checking in. By the way, appreciate you. Did you know too that? So they complained over and over again about being called fleas. Remember? And yet, if you just search wide open online, you'll find this where they have tried to sell the fleece of flea. You can't make this up. They're like, oh my God, he's so evil. He talks about he called me the flea. And then they sold fleas. Oh my God, that puts a little water in my eye. You gotta, man, that's hilarious. They were like, oh my God. They had to lean into being the flea. Look at that. You want to hear even funnier? So, they talked about how AI gets everything right. Remember, they did this psychological test where they wanted AI to psychoanalyze a bunch of channels. Well, the same AI that brought you psychoanalysis of all the channels out there, and poor Lisa, the same one that did that, said that thing right there actually isn't a flea, it's a tick. It was like, it's a what now? It's like, that's not a flea, that's a tick. I was like, I don't think that's a tick. Maybe a giant bed bug, but it's definitely not a tick. But AI is like, it's the smartest thing ever. So. Oh my God, there's so much entertainment there. Give me one second, I'll show you something. Oh yeah, the little one showed me something else too. She was messing around. I had this on the oldest. Check this out. She was showing off her stuff. I want to show this off real quick too. Like she's like, behold my new creation. So check it out. Look at that. It's cute. Whoop, heart. Isn't that cool? She's been making everything. I was like, yeah, I want to show that off. That's cute. But let's look at the let's look at the main topic that I said I would cover tonight first. Let's look at the wonderful, wonderful world of living on a trailer. Actually getting an RV, I guess. Now the RV thing, like I said, it was kind of strange in its own way. Remember, we were told over and over and over and over and over and over and over again that they needed $5,000, right? They were going to have $5,000 or else they couldn't get what they needed. Okay. Well, apparently that's not true. Apparently, according to John Cook, now John Cook was posting about this, and John Cook was saying that he got financing for something, which again, okay, that's cool. Whatever. Well, he can, he can do that. But he said he bought an RV with bunk beds. So on top of all of the requests, he said that he has, here, I'll show you. Let me pull this up while we're noting this. See, they were saying people had to give them $5,000 or else, nah, but apparently they could have done this on their own at any time. Anytime. That's what they're telling us. But John Cook, while running his mouth, said, his bill was $125. That's he's not in bankruptcy. They can't take his property. Oh my God, So that's really strange, isn't it? Like I said, they were telling you over and over again, people need to give them $5,000 or else. I mean, now they want $450 more for delivery. So I'm curious. Like I said, if this is from, I definitely know for sure the pictures she puts up are from Camper World. In fact, the video that is utilized, again, do not bother these people. Okay. But I'm going to show you like what video it comes from. All of the stuff there. And Hale's actually put up a good comparison video today where you can see the same beds and everything. I don't have to go through and really hit it, but I will show you where it's in the same pictures. I'll show you. Let me pull up a picture, and actually I'll prove to you it's the same thing real quick, okay? That way, as I go forward, we won't have any question, right? So there's a certain picture I want to refer to. I'm going to show you that, again, this guy. Now you see his shirt. I want you to drink everything in here. And again, don't bother these people. I'm making a point here, okay? I need to show you because I need to go back to the original. So you see the bed. You see how this is set up. Like, drink this in. You see the guy's shirt. He's missing a logo here. But this is Camper World. Black. Got the symbol on the side, the swoosh. See the little beard and everything. I mean, again, you can drink all of that in. All right. Well, if you look at the bed, first of all, you can see same bed in this video right here. See it? Same freaking bed. Same dude, same shirt. Again, I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. I'm just saying this is it. They share this look. Same dude, same beard, same shirt, same camper, same everything. This is where it came from, which again is a 3-year-old video. It is from Camper World. So that's definitely where the pictures came from, for sure. You can, in fact, see the little lines on her pictures. See, I noticed this at first myself. And off this is like the first thing I noticed. I noticed the gaps. You see those right there? This is a video. Like, she didn't cut it up high enough. So she's telling people it's definitely a video. And if you see the gaps like that, it's one of two things. It's either a marketing video where you have a bunch of screenshot, like picture slides, where it flips over, or it's a divided up video on YouTube. Typically, this is what you have when it's chaptered out, right? So you have all your gaps in there, and you can see the little gaps in there. And since they're uneven, well, that tells you it's more than likely a video. So, it's a few years old. Again, the logo, it's noticeable in a few of these. You can actually make it out. So, it becomes pretty obvious after a hot minute that it is the same thing. And again, Hale's actually put up, give me 1 second. I saw that he put this up. It's funny because he seems to be ahead of the curve sometimes on it too. Like, damn it, man. How do you, let me see. Wait, that is not the right place. God, I hate Facebook sometimes when I'm looking for something. Give me 1 minute. Come on. I hate when you're looking for something and freaking Facebook is like, oh, that what the hell's person? Yeah, I'd show you that, but here we go. Okay, so check this picture out. He actually put up a pretty great comparison too, just to show it all in unison, because I want to show it together, and then we'll look at the post. Okay, but here's that one. You can see, it's the same. It's the same shirt, same swoosh, same belt, same beard, same cornering on the bed, same coloration, everything. I mean, you can tell that is the same thing. It is the exact same picture. So that is definitively where that thing came from. It is amazing. But let's look at what was posted about all of this too. And again, what really makes this stand out to me, it isn't the fact that somebody gets a camper or whatever. Okay, who cares? What it was is, again, telling people you got to come off money. You got to, or a little kid will suffer because of it. And it's, again, they could have gone out and financed any time. And apparently they could have, according to John Cook, they could have financed for a relatively small sum. $125 a month, considering, again, they're paying around $1,000 a month for a vehicle. I mean, that's relatively, they were anyway. I don't know. Again, that's what they put in the in the bankruptcy filings. When you took the amount that they were paying, 700 something bucks, you add on insurance. You're like, what is insurance going to cost plus gas and everything? I mean, you're talking over $1,000 for that one vehicle. So for this, I mean, and again, they've been living in the shed how long? There was a way to do this for how long now? And they haven't been doing that, but they need you to give them the low cost of $450 for delivery fee. It's like, what now? $450 for a delivery fee? Why? They don't deliver for you? They don't bring you your stuff? And if you don't, again, don't listen to the trolls. You're amongst. It's like, dude, this is public. Again, this is public stuff. She posted many, many places. So she said, God is so good. John and I have gotten a camper. But we need the last little bit, and that is $450 for delivery in order to get it here. So, still give us money. Even though we finance, we can do all of that. You couldn't come to an arrangement to, again, I don't know if you got it from Camper World. I'm not sure. Again, it was their video. But whoever you got it from, you can't have them deliver it? You couldn't work that into the arrangement? Yo, bring it to me. You can't have the people that stole $100,000 bring it to you. I mean, Cook seems to be simpatico with those people. He seems to be buddy with them. So maybe he should drag that thing over there for you. Maybe they would. But anyway, I know the trolls are going to turn this inside out. I don't care. The trolls, of course, it's always the trolls. You're the one fucking posting it publicly and asking for money. I mean, come on. Again, it's either walk the line with me or you're this terrible thing. Huh. Okay. I've sold everything I could possibly sell, and I'm still trying to sell more, but I need help. If you want to help us, I'm putting up my Cash App and my PayPal in the comments. Okay, well, first of all, didn't you all finance that through John? So what does that have to do with you selling things? I'm confused. On top of that, again, you were asking people, like the people I'm talking to, we're going to give you money. I'm just going to be honest. They weren't going to give you money anyway. And the way you all have treated donors over the last little bit, like I went through that Afghan lady the other night, and the point in going over folks like that, it isn't to shame donors. Again, I want to make this clear. That's not an I told you so. What I'm trying to say through all of that is more people need to complain about this stuff that never gets done. But through it, I mean, they treated the lady that gave an Afghan. There were 3 stories. It went from it had a price tag on it. We didn't know, to it had a price tag on it. And Harley just hates that, to and you want fame. You're just a fame seeker. To it's made out of I don't know if it had a price tag on it. It's made out of crappy material, made the child itch really badly. You're a terrible person and you're a stalker. That's what you get for giving. Why would anybody give these people anything? But they're still like, give me money. Right after that happens. I mean, again, that's been popping off on the lady with the Afghan since I think it was the 15th. And it was still going as of the day that this went up. And this got added to last night. So if you don't want to help, scroll by. I'm trying to do the best for my child. I've got people out there who believe all the crap they're being told. I feel sorry. What the fuck does this have to do? One of your problems too, Lynette, honestly, you can't help but dump on people and treat them like garbage. It's amazing. And you have this really rare thing that has happened. You have anti-Hales, the people that were supposedly in your corner, they have all turned on you. Now, they like to come back and say, well, they've got to do a saving face because they raised so much money and they took it out of their audience. They have to do a saving face and say, even though she's all these terrible things, and then put in a caveat. Blah, blah, Jeremy Hales. But they still talk about how terrible you are. And they've been doing it every night. Every time they get on. Again, I pulled up that Sunday Fun Day. You know how many times they mentioned you? They talked about taking that money that you had and using it to defend themselves. It's crazy business, lady. And again, if you want money, get your 100 grand back. Or take those people for everything. You know? They were... Oh, my God. They were off on the Timu Rock thing again. I was like, damn. They have like 180 people that are tuned in, and there's the same couple of dozen people buying worthless shit. I was like, really? Go online and see what you can buy that for, please, people. Like, you know, at some point, the same people getting this worthless shit are just like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Again, their money, but God. Like for me, if anytime I buy something, I always look and see competitor pricing, and I always try to see if it looks like a cheap piece of garbage. You know, I might be able to get something, but I don't want to get it the Temu version of it, like marked up, or the AliExpress version. It's pretty awful. Oh, by the way, too. So in a couple of weeks, I am going to have on, I reached out and I am trying to align, I think Mr. Coop and Georgie, this weekend does not work for that because it is the kiddo's birthday. I gave her Friday, and Friday's the day I like to, if it works out, I like to do guests. But the next week, I think I'm going to have them because they are so hated. I think it'll be really funny. So I think them popping up. It was funny. I was going to see if they wanted to pop on yesterday, but I didn't know if Megan was going to be on. You know, I thought she's away, so who knows? So I reached out. It was really funny. I reached out to Mr. Cooper. I was like, "Hey, you around?" And he answered within like an hour or so, which is good. You know, you could be doing whatever. And I forgot about it. I didn't answer him for 7 hours. I didn't answer him until we were in the stream last night. I was like, "Oh shit, I forgot." But I do want to have them on. I do appreciate the fact that 2L hates them so much. It just makes me laugh. So anyway, continuing. You'll see very soon you've been duped, lied to, just to get you to buy things or send money or get views, which bring in big dollars. It's a shame. I feel bad for you. But for those of you who want to help me in HG, I will provide you with pics of the camper. So this is telling me that it's the same camper, right? Okay, so Lynette, I would like you to clarify that. Is this the same camper? Is it the exact same one in the video? Or is it, because you say you would provide pics of the camper. Well, you provided them out of the video, and they had multiple of that brand. So I'm curious. Again, it makes it sound like that's the specific. Is it that specific one? You've already put up pictures, so why not go further and be like, yeah, sure. Or not, whatever. You said you're going to. So, and I will let you know the second we reach $450. I will never try and get any more than what I need. Yeah. Again, you guys, the barn door, the fence. Remember they told us the fence. Again, maybe this is a lie, Lynette. You could clarify it, but they said you were greedy and you were hateful and you never even wanted a fence. But it would lead to other things. So you took it and you were so bougie, you needed an upgrade. Again, that's my word, bougie. They didn't say that. But you needed the upgrade. You went with like the 4th upgrade. I've shown all the transcripts where they said all that. So, I mean, you see why people, they have the optic that you're not appreciative. And also, they don't want to give you more money. Blame that on 2L. Blame it on 2L. It's Milli Vanilli. I'm hoping to God it has all the hoses and cords and everything it needs. Well, if you're buying it from Camper World, are you buying it from somebody who bought it from Camper? I'm confused here because Camper World if they have it for sale, won't they show it to you? Why wouldn't they give you all the hoses and everything? And why would you buy something if you're going to finance it? Why would you buy it sight unseen like that? If you didn't know it would do what you wanted. See, it's something I will not do. I will not buy something that is sight unseen like that, you know? It's just wild. You know, I hope to God it has everything there. But, God. Yes, exactly. Look, Cynic's got a point here. Look, this is a solid point. I think a lot of people have noted stuff. Hell, I'd give some for HG if I knew it would actually benefit her and not some slimy grifter like Fleesa or some crazy beggar like, why not? Exactly. You know, that's the thing, man. People are like, who's this going to anymore? Because we watch $100,000 go into the palms of these greedy lunatics, you know? That's actually what that's what Only Me was saying. Only Me, I think, is so burnt out on these people. He doesn't want to do anything for it, except he said he would testify against police, and he should after what she had to say about him. Woo, God. Holy God. People should, in fact, encourage him to go watch Sunday Fun Day because, wow, they had a lot to say about that dude. I will be breaking that down, by the way. But they lied about him. They attacked him. It was freaking wild. But that's what he was saying, though. He was like, hey, you know, at first, I want money to go to that person. I want him to go to the kid. And then after that, he's like, I didn't give it to these people. So I'm not giving anymore. But anyway, it will work. So she wants to know, she hopes to God it has hoses, cords, everything it needs, and will work with that when we get it here. What happens if it doesn't? Are you going to ask for more, by the way? Because if it doesn't, first of all, if you've bought a lemon, oh my God. I hate to say, you come up with a fundraiser that's like, oh my God, I bought this sight unseen. What about black mold, by the way? You know, you guys were talking about how terrible the mold is there. And again, I've never lived in Florida. I don't know. But how do you know if it's from Florida, if it's sight unseen and you don't know anything about it? How do you know it doesn't have the same problem that you had before? You know? I'm just curious about that. How do you know it doesn't have issues? Because you were talking about having one before, and you said it wasn't repossessed. You said you gave it up. And the reason you gave it up was because of black mold. So, but HG's excited. She has her own bunk beds. By the way, I really hope y'all put something on those bunk beds. They look dangerous, by the way. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be a douche or anything about that either. The bunk bed does not look... It looks a little not safe. Let's just say. Again, I'm not saying any of these things. Do not contact these people. Do not contact any services. You know the drill by now, Lord. You know they brought up services too. How dare you people with the service? Like, what in the world? But she brings up the HG so excited about bunk beds. You know, she has troll bedroom things. Oh my God. Are those the trolls that turned on you? The trolls things in the bedroom? Is that the little people in the wall? Maybe I misunderstood the thing about the trolls up here. I know the trolls are going to turn this inside out. Are you talking about her little troll dolls? Are they coming after you? The little people in the walls. Shit. Oh my God. Oh, fun times some days, man. Fun times. But little girl excited. Okay. I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. But the bunk beds. Now, like I said, that bunk bed doesn't look too... You need to put some bumpers on this stuff. I mean, it's a little on the irony side, you know. But that shows you, again, this is the picture, like I said, that is 100% from that video. You can tell. There's a little section called double bunks on it too. And I mean, you can see the double bunks, and you can, and again, that's not like weird staining or anything. I don't want people to think that. That is like whatever they have over the top. But look at it here. Let's do a comparison. You see that picture right there, right? And you see the picture. Again, it's not the exact same frame, but you see the picture right here. You can tell, same freaking video, everything. You know, it has its own little section though. But that's where it came from. For show. For show. All right, let's get... I don't know why I did that. Oh my God. I sometimes listen to live streams. I'm like, what the hell motivated that? Okay, let's continue. So, you know, you see the little closets. Again, you know, and whatever. I don't really care about this stuff right here. Their pantry, you know, their layout. What kills me, again, they were talking about how people had to give them $5,000 or else. God's got this. Well, maybe God will give you $450, you know, since you keep talking all that smack. Like, you know, again, many people offered them help with all kinds of things. Again, I think I'm very nice in what I'm noting here. I think I'm allowing you to answer. I'm not trying to give statements. Let me see. Give me one other thing. There's another statement here I want to find. Give me one second. I'm not trying to give definitive answers on it. I just find it really weird. Like all these things, again, you've made all these statements. Here's some more too on this. So she actually posted more on the here, give me 1 minute, on the Facebook part about it. So this actually continues. And here we have, for all those who are trolls against us calling CPS, lying about us, you can say what you want. Well, what? Who called CPS now? Supposedly, again, you keep blaming it on Hales. You blamed beginning, and you blamed every call. And again, the amazing thing is, though, that 2L in the gang, they talk about you. They talk about having to defend themselves from you because you're such a monster and a liar and all these other things. That's their statements. And, you know, throw you a bone every now and then. But they'll use your own money against you to sue you, which, again, highly, highly illegal. But I digress. But if there is actually a call going to CPS, maybe you should look at those people you call friends. You should ask, too, why the people... This really bothers me because the people that are supposedly your advocates, why they haven't stepped in about that 100K? Why didn't they? Is there something about it? There were a few statements in some old live streams that are very, very interesting. Were there other costs, Lynette? This is something I'd like to know. I listened to something that came up with the 2L and the gang, and they talked about some costs that I don't seem to remember ever coming up. They were just kind of off the cuff things. And I'm wondering, do you know about some of that money and where it might have gone besides just straight up like for what we were told? Did anybody get money? Did you know about that? I'm just curious about all these things. But anyway, let's continue. I'll get way off topic. I have spent the past 2 weeks busting my butt, selling everything I possibly can, doing everything I can to provide a home, and I'm not going to feel bad about it. Well, actually, again, how did that work? Because John Cook did the financing. That's what we were told. So... And I understand why you did it, because you're trying to protect it. Although, again, you could have set it up in a way. That's a catch-22 as well. If John owns the domicile that you are living in, whoa. I also wonder, John keeps popping up in all these streams. Why don't people ask him, hey, all these terrible things Lynette said about you, about kids and stuff, why have you never, like, been, you know, you're fast to get pissy about anything else, but her words, oh, you're good to go with that. You seem totally fine with that stuff. It's very strange, man. Very strange indeed. But You keep talking about how he's a monster and all these things, and you can't share space, and yet. So I will not feel bad about him. My little girl, place to rest, call home, especially a place you can be proud of, blah, 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 blah. You know? And this person is like, well, if I had the money, I would give it to you. Oh my God. That's what the hell, people suck. He's evil. He's evil. Well, you liked him enough when you first met him and wanted his money, lady. Those people that have taught you to hate the man, they really liked him at first too. They really liked him at first too. They all did. It's very strange how that works out. He's like, oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Prayer, money, prayer. That's what this is going to be. Let's read this fast, okay? You know what, prayers are just as good as any help you could give him now, doing everything in the power to show the world we absolutely are innocent by filing bankruptcy. We're innocent, so we want to discharge the money. How, Lynette, if you thought you were 100% innocent, by God, you would not go the bankruptcy route. That is a lie. If you thought you were 100% innocent, what this looks like is you trying some shady bullshit off to the side to, number one, delay, and number two, hope to God you can discharge any loss. That is not winning. That is not innocent. That is trying to pull some bullshit at the last minute, hoping to God you can get your proverbial, I'm going to say can out of the fire. You know, that's not innocence, man. I mean, if you thought you were innocent, why don't you insist on trial? Why don't you provide all the evidence for it? Why didn't you also provide that? You know, I've covered, one of the things that always amazed me too, I've covered many cases, and one of the things you'll notice is innocent people, they're not just, give me a minute, I got a nose spray. Ugh. God, that stuff is like freaking shooting fire in my brain. Oh, holy moly. What the what even? Maybe I need a bracelet that says what the what. Oh my God. This Sinex Severe stuff with VapoCool. Woo, baby. That stuff is rough. It's the time of year for it. Yeah. Oh, give me a second. I got to spray it one more time and then I'll be ready to go. Oh God. Jeez. Oh, I got a sinus infection trying. So I'm working on it. But anyway, let's continue. Ooh. I look at it this way. You got a big lake full of all of his fans. He goes out there with handfuls of food, lies, poison, and he feeds all the fans in the end. They are going to be poisoned when they meet their maker. And they're going to, what does this have to do with getting your money for it? Listen to this. I mean, this is about, thank you for praying for us. You know, the way I look at it, Jeremy, he comes out with handfuls of food, lies, and poison, and he feeds people, and they're going to be poisoned, and God will smite them in the end. That's what, you know, people a lot of times don't understand some types of statements. I see the statement pop up sometimes where, you know, they're talking about religion and the statement, the gospel of the lowly makes low. People like this, people that are terrible, they try to pull you down to their level and they use religion for it. That is not a statement really necessarily about religion. It's about the use of, you know, when people speak this lowly thing, in the end, we will get you. Like, that's a poison statement. And it's nasty and vitriolic. And that's what you see there. That is. It's someone taking a gospel, a lowly gospel, and it's trying to drag you down low. You know, it's gross, man. It tries to drag everyone to that kill. They figure if they can say it enough that in the end, you'll be afraid you'll get yours. And it's like, really, lady? Yeah. Okay. All right. Gross, man. But I think it's sad and it's a shame. It's sad that others have followed and done what they've done to us to get money off the YouTubes and the TikToks and the Instagram, Facebooks. I call it the money bug. They got bit. By the way, give me $450. Oh my God, that's funny. Oh, oh my God. Man, I should have set a goal for today. I should have been like, today is $450 goal. I hate doing that sometimes. If I don't need something, I hate to do it. But it would be really funny, wouldn't it? I think that would be really funny. Hey, Lynette, look what would happen if you actually treated people decently. You know what I mean? Just as an object lesson. I mean, that's what I do. I'd like, but at the same time, I don't want to do that, right? I kind of, it'd be funny. But you understand what I mean. These people, they spend so much time. At one time, Lynette could have asked for $450 in cotton. She could have. She could have treated people decently. She could have treated her donors. Again, people kept coming out. Miyagi bought banners to place on their property. Miyagi helped with costs that were associated with law expenses. You had a guy again that dropped 56 grand and planned on dropping a lot more. On top of that, you know, you have the lady that wanted to donate she donated presents. She wanted to donate Afghans and more. I mean, you see how that goes. Gold. Did I hear gold? Funny, maybe not. I do think that's funny, though. Like I said, you know, it's a real object lesson for these people because, again, they don't understand. It's not about subscriber sizes. It's not about numbers or anything. It's about treating people decently. And if there was something where she needed something, they would have helped her. But people don't trust her. Like, it's also a matter of trust. And if people see something like this, they don't trust her. They don't trust their PR. You notice the only stream PR got numbers on is Sunday. Why did that happen? Because they were talking about Hales. It's people coming in and looking at that. And for Lynette, again, she's been asking for the same amounts of money over and over again, hoping that she'll hook somebody. And she doesn't understand that months ago she could have done that with ease. People would have come out of the woodwork to help her. What changed? She doesn't get it. She thinks it's Jeremy Hills. She thinks it's other people like myself more. Again, Lynette. It's how you treat me. You see it every time we cover this. But we know they're... Wait. Bug... they got... Money bug got bit. So obviously did everybody. She of course is pure and never bit by the money bug, right? We know that they're old, this is a type, there will never be any money from Lisa. See, again, she states another statement about Lisa. We know there will never be any money from Lisa. She's made it clear. You know, if you want to throw down and you want to blame somebody, Hales wasn't your audience to get money from, lady. Very sure Zach said something about a goal. If you want to, I can't tell you. Let me see. I'll tell you what the total is right now. I can actually look. Give me 1 second. It'll take me a second, and I can tell you what was there. I cannot tell you with memberships because I haven't added memberships in because it won't tell me on the dashboard. But give me 1 minute, and I will tell you exactly where it was for real. Just 1 second. It's so funny, though. Again, like I said, Lynette could be treating all these folks just so decently. Let's see. There's the key. So it is up to 170 is where it is already. Already in the stream. We've barely even talked about anything on it. And again, that's without, I don't know. Let me look at memberships. I'll tell you where we're at real quick. Give me 1 second. Here's one membership. 2. Like I said, just give me a minute. There's 5, that'd be 30. So that's 200. Well, it's already at 2. This is what Lynette doesn't understand. Right there. There's 200 right there already. So it's already at half of what she would have asked for real. Already at half of it. So all jokes aside or anything, if she was just nice to people. I like too that she keeps saying, we pray for people. We pray for them all, And she sits around this whole time instead of doing something positive. All of this is about dumping on Hales. He's such a terrible person. He's a monster. Wait, what just happened here? Wait, what? Watch this. You want to see? Check this out. Wait, I don't. Who are you talking to, Lynette? There was not another person. I screenshot this when it came up, and I screenshot it off of another account. So she's trying to tag another person, but there wasn't a comment that I saw here. So are you talking to this person and just tag them wrong? Because then you come back and speak, but you're like, you're a nasty, evil person. I hope God judges you. Like I said, I recorded when it came in, and I recorded it off of an account where even if I'm blocked, I would see it. So I'm not seeing anything there, unless there's something hiding. I'm not seeing it. So are you really talking to this person? Because Lord. And then she's like, okay, well, I like this too. I like how she's also telling this person here that, Jeremy, all these terrible things about him, right? And she's like, well, people are messaging me and telling me the same thing. Well, that's cool. That's cool. So, if they were to ask, remember when they asked about your communications about Jeremy Hales with anybody and you refused to turn those over? Do you remember that, folks? Because I do. I remember when they refused to turn all of those over. Are you sure it's not a Lego camper? Oh my God. I'm my favorites. For the goal, give me a G to the O to the A to the L. What's this spell? Goal. Look at all those goals. It's so cool. It's so funny. But yes, let's talk about this other wonderful thing. Again, I do appreciate you all for real. I try to tell you all that a lot because for real, that's what these people forget. They forget a lesson, and the lesson is that without their audience, they're just talking into a mic or typing to nothing. And Lynette's really getting a shock out of that. So here's the Stupid Dave stuff. I think you'll like this, folks. I think you'll really enjoy this. Check this out, folks. So here is the Stupid Dave. This is the order. Again, you can see it's order from a judge. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure there's nothing in here that I don't want to show. Just give me 1 second, Oh, man. What's funny is they attached Dave's rants about Jeremy, and it's taunting. And the judge, that's one of the reasons that he gave this extension. Stupid Dave caused this. So if you want to read something funny, this is good. Like when it gets to the second part, like when it gets down in here, it talks about him taunting. Because right here, look, it notes this, and we'll read through this, but check this out. This is such a good filing because it's like plaintiffs claim that Stupid Dave is evading service and made appearance on YouTube, quote unquote, taunting plaintiffs about being served. In support of their arguments, they attached affidavits from the process server, Based on that, the court finds a good cause. Stupid Dave did it to himself. I told you. That's what I've been saying, man. These people get online and they taunt and they laugh about not being served. And what happens there? If you didn't want to do that, then you just shut the freaking crap up. You sat in the corner like the little baby you are and stop acting like an internet tough guy, because you are or you aren't. And Stupid Dave, you definitely aren't. You are not built for the internet or doors or unenforced floors. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Okay. I mean, this guy again, he likes to throw barbs and stuff. He likes to talk trash. He put out, like I said, he put out a video, for example, alleging some things about myself and Megan. And I was like, okay, well, we can talk trash. And then he went on after, I guess he didn't like some of the stuff I said. After that, he went on to this, I can't remember what show it was. And he was like, what I do, like this video, and he points to his video. This is parody and satire. What they do is just mean. It's like, so you alleging that I'm having relations with a married woman is satire. And somebody, again, you try to ruin this lady's reputation. It won't ruin my reputation, but you try. It won't ruin hers either, but you try. And that's satire. But me calling you, tub of fun and all that, tub of bubba, that's the line. That's too far. Okay, I got you. That's so funny, man. You're not built for this. And you're not smart enough to play this. Again, maybe, I don't know where Fed 2 will go. But I do know you guys will get served. And if you're not smart about it, you will end up with a price tag on the end of it. It will cost you money. And that's definitely not what you want, I mean, again, I feel like for Stupa and others, we've tried to do them a favor. We're trying to tell them, this is how a court works, buddy. And based off of that, you don't want to play that game, man. You don't want to play that game at all. God, let's read this together. I'm looking forward to it. So, the court issued an order requiring plaintiffs to show cause as to why claims against Stupid Dave should not be dismissed for lack of timely service. Now, plaintiffs, of course, they responded to that. You can see that's if you're playing along, by the way, at home, this is 125, this is 121, and 122. Now, if a defendant is not served within 90 days after a complaint is filed, the court, on motion or on its own after notice to the plaintiff, must dismiss the action without prejudice against that defendant or order that service be made within a specific time. Now, the rule further provides that if the plaintiff, now this is the important part. This is what the ecosystem keeps leaving out. If the plaintiff shows good cause for the failure, if they can show that you're evading, if they can show that they've tried, then of course you can extend. But even in the absence of good cause, they have the discretion to do that anyhow. Okay? So the court could do that as long as, again, it considers an appropriate period. If you are dodging and you are laughing about it and acting the clown, then how do you think they're going to take it? And again, they were able to show that has happened because Stupid Dave has been doing it openly. So is Paint Chips. This is going to be how Paint Chips plays. And even worse, perhaps, because of the stuff that they put in filings for them. But in the response, plaintiff admits that Stupid Dave is yet to be served. And plaintiff does not dispute that the deadline, which had been previously extended for serving him, had expired. Now, because he was not timely served, plaintiff, again, they must show good cause to effect timely service. Now, again, the ecosystem was saying that if the judge allowed a time extension, it shows that he is biased and he is bought off. That was their words. And they were saying, they attack the judge more, they would double down. Oh my God. They're not helping. Stupid Dave, I really want to have a word with you here. Do you think the things that Paint Chips is doing is helping you? Honestly, do you think that helped you? Do you think that him writing the judge as his quote unquote father, it being removed as obscene, then them writing it again and putting in pictures of the judge as a bozo and all that, do you think that helps you? And you can say, well, that shouldn't impact me. But does it? Can it? You may not be able to answer the does it, but you can answer the can it. And if you think, man, that's bad. Again, these are the people you've decided to throw in with, and you know they're MO. This is a guy who went to prison for his bullshit. And he keeps going, and he keeps pushing, and you think it's a good idea, man. You are tied to that same anchor. I don't know how to get it across to some of these folks. It's like, dude, the court, the one thing you say to the judge is, yes, Your Honor, or no, Your Honor. Randy was a great object lesson in that. You look at it was the tale of two lawyers. You had Bruce come in. Bruce was like, no, I'm not going. I'm not doing this. I'm not listening to you, Judge. Randy went in. The judge said plenty of things that I'm sure Randy didn't agree with. And he was given the time to state his case. He did. And when the judge was like, that's enough, he stopped. He was like, sure, Your Honor. Apologies, Your Honor. Whatever. That's how you do it, man. You don't go out and gaslight the freaking judge. And I'm sure they tell you that that's somehow, again, their excuse has been, well, he's just trying to point out that it's a clown show. No, he's making it a clown show. And it definitely reflects on you guys. It also reflects on the allegations there because of the things that are, again, damaging businesses and more. When this dude writes in and says the dude is an alligator effer and all of that and puts in these obscenities, you don't think so? But anyway, I digress. This right here, though, this is case law. This has nothing to do with that, though. They were saying they're going to do more of it. And it's like, no, man. This is already established case law. They were going to extend. Dave's out there saying, well, ChatGPT told me we'll talk to a real fucking lawyer. Maybe not one that's disbarred or gets in trouble a lot, or one that, is losing everything in their mother because, the stuff they done. Maybe those people aren't the ones you talk to, Dave. Maybe go talk to a neutral lawyer that's outside of that circus. Maybe see what they say, because that circus has told you a lot of things. I keep saying, look at this, look at that, look at all these things they've gotten wrong, and you think they're right. Again, about like how to affect service. They can't do this certain way. Well, you could find the rules on it. You could find where they could do service by publication. You could find where, again, you dodging and bragging about it, that's going to cause you problems. So I don't know how to make that any clearer. God, these people, man, they make my brain hurt. They do. They make my brain hurt. Oh, my God. 1 second here. I'm checking. What is that? I see something else. Oh, yeah. I've got to pull the bankruptcy thing, too. Don't let me forget. So, he was not, again. So, the plaintiffs, they argue that good cause exists. They seek an additional 45 days. Now, plaintiff states that despite reasonably diligent efforts, they've been able to serve Dave. Plaintiff asserts that they've hired a private investigator to complete service on him. Despite these efforts, plaintiff states that they've been unable to serve him. Yeah, because he's dodging. Again, this is where it gets in. Plaintiffs claim that Stupid Dave is evading service and has made appearances on YouTube, quote unquote, taunting plaintiffs about not being served. In support of their arguments, plaintiffs attached affidavit from the process server regarding their unsuccessful attempts. And again, we went over those. And one of the things that really stuck out about that stuff was the process server was saying, yeah, and again, remember, this is somebody that's attached to law enforcement, attached to the sheriff's office. And they were saying, yes, this guy 100%, he's dodging service. He's trying not to cooperate in any way, shape, or form. And I get it. He doesn't want to be served. I get it, man. I get it. But the problem is, again, if you think that you have a solid case, just go up there and eat them up, man. Treat them like a whopper. But he did say one of the things that was noted as a, let me pull this. Give me a second. Crap, that is not redacted. I'm going to pull a line here. Give me 1 minute. Actually, I'm just going to pull a statement off this. Okay, so if you really want to see where this is stated, you look at document 122.3. So that would be document 122, exhibit 3. In exhibit 3, it talks about attempts of service, right? It goes through all of that. And again, it is heavy in the need for redacting. That's why I'm doing right this. I just want to show you one sentence. I'm not going through the whole stupid thing. But there's one sentence in there. And again, remember, these people are attached to law enforcement. So they are indeed somebody the court's going to listen to. Again, they keep talking about how this is some kind of weird conspiracy against all of them and stuff. Do they think law enforcement and everyone's conspiring? Again, I'm not the most woo gung ho, law enforcement, yay! But on that, again, they're doing things by the book. Check this out. So on that document, there's one sentence. Now, I've cut the middle out of it, but they said the final results, this is when them talking about attempts at service. They said with 9/8/2025, 5:22 p.m., subject is avoiding per webcast. So they're saying Dave is going on and he's bragging about this. He's telling the world that he is avoiding. So it's right there. You can see it right there. This is, again, someone attached to law enforcement. Man, you all are rolling right up on that freaking number too. I'll check it. Give me a second. I haven't looked at it in a minute. I wasn't paying attention. Thank you all. Again, I appreciate it. It is birthday week too, so Lordy, with the little and the big one, I make sure to, like I said, do both. So we are. Let me see. Give me a second. So in Super Chats, there's actually 327 without any type of membership. Let's see, there's 5 again. So there's 6, that's $30 there on those. So quick math, it would have been $360 now. That's the whole point. There's another 2. So it'd be a 370. So, I mean, honestly, Lynette's number that I noted, her 450. Yeah, we're almost, again, if she treated people nicely, if she treated people decently, if she was innocent, I'll tell you this. If I believed Lynette was innocent, I would 100% would take a wrecking ball to the person after her. I would. 100%. And it wouldn't matter. See, they all like saying, well, Hale's, he's a big YouTuber and stuff. Dude, going after bigger YouTubers with this, to be honest, there would be more clout in calling out a Jeremy Hales if he were guilty. That would be much better. But that's not the truth. So if she was freaking, man, she keeps saying she's innocent. And we all have seen the lack of evidence. But anyway, so they're taunting. I'm gonna get sidetracked. Sorry. In support of their arguments, too, plaintiff have attached affidavit from process server regarding that. Again, I showed you that. Based on that information, the court finds good cause to extend the service deadline to Stupid Dave. So again, Stupid Dave caused this. When they talk about the judge, oh my God, he did this and he did that, how terrible. No, blame Stupid Dave. He's the guy who did this to himself. It wasn't the court. It was Stupid Dave. It's amazing. It is. Okay. So again, they go through case law, granting an extension of service deadline where the plaintiff had made diligent efforts to locate and serve a defendant, even in the absence of good cause. Again, the apparent efforts by stupid Dave, to evade service would likely justify the courts exercising its discretion under Rule 4M to grant plaintiffs extension. So even if they wouldn't have, even if there was not good cause whatsoever, even if the court looked at it and said, you know what, there's no rule here, there's no way that we could do it. Well, the court could decide that in the absence, again, of good cause. Dave going out of the way and bragging about doing this causes it. So Dave evading service, it causes this period, or would likely justify. And with the court saying, yeah, that would likely justify anyway, they're just laying out reasons they could do this. I mean, I hammer that because I keep saying these people, what are they doing, man? If you're going to dodge service, don't brag about it. What are you doing? Oh, Lord. But again, here's another, again, case law on that, noting that evading service, quote, may justify the grant of an extension of time for service or process in the absence of good cause. The court, therefore, will grant an extension of 90 days to serve Dave. The extension will apply retroactively to the previous service deadline. So that would be applied to when it apply again. So you have the old date. Thus, oh, I missed here. So check this out. Plaintiff's counsel is reminded that a lawyer should request an extension of a deadline before it expires. Why didn't you do this with this drives me nuts though. And again, just noting, why did you never caution Bruce ever? Bruce, we would complain about this ad nauseum. Bruce would set in, he would let things lapse, he would put in motions, he would have them put in. And did you ever see the judge be like, you know what? You're reminded to do this. It never did that. It was frustrating as hell. Like I said, I believe if you take the way other lawyers have been treated and you notice just this minutia, like this picking and picking, I believe that you can make a case for problems there if this thing does not go Jeremy Hale's way. And I don't say that because, again, it's just like with the Thomases. Like, that stuff is wild. Bruce, it seemed like, again, he treated Bruce like he was a pro se litigant. And Bruce is a big boy lawyer. He's not a pro se litigant. You're not supposed to treat a pro se litigant different anyway, but people do. But a big boy lawyer should have been treated like a big boy lawyer. It blows my mind. But his counsel is hereby placed on notice that if a service deadline expires again in this case without an extension request before, then it will be denied and dismissal recommended for lack of timely service. I swear, man. Like I said, did you ever see Bruce ever get a, hey, by the way, let me remind you of something. The only reminder I ever saw was, you know what? You are in Gainesville. That's the only one. But Dave must be served by December 1st. Man, I told you this is going all, you know, this case is going another year, man. And I enjoy watching their crazy clown show, but I hate this for Hales. And I hope, folks, again, when you look at it, you support his videos, you support his endeavors, everything he does over there, because ultimately, I mean, this is justice. It moves at I hate to say it moves at the pace of a snail, because even a snail moves faster than this. This is like a snail. If it's like, oh, wait a minute, I left something go, and it has to go back and come back again. I mean, it's nuts. We're only in the service portion of this right now. Isn't that crazy? Like I said, I hate that for him. Man, we are $40 off of Lynette's goal. You crazy people, man. We are $40 off of your goal, Lynette. Like I said, if you treated people decently, you too you could do this stuff. Not just that. Here, I want to make something else kind of noted in there as well. If she we offered her help. Remember that. We offered her help with her 100 grand, and she decided to be like, F you, you know, so we did offer you help. And you see, again, how we can be effective on all kinds of little things. So isn't it funny that the people you try to blow up there, again, you're hiding from consequences. You're hoping bankruptcy will shield you. You had enough money to buy a real place. People stole it. Don't you want revenge? Even if you don't get the money, don't you want revenge? I would. I would definitely want revenge on the people who pretended to be my friend and rolled up beside me and stole my money. But anyway, let's continue. So in addition to requesting an extension of service deadline, plaintiffs have sought permission to serve by publication. Now, publication is noted here. Plaintiff asserts that their investigation has revealed that Stupid Dave resides in Wisconsin. Now, under the federal rules of civil procedure, a defendant may be served following state law for serving a summons in an action brought in court of general jurisdiction in the state where service is made. Thus, plaintiff may seek to serve Stupid Dave in accordance with Wisconsin law. Now, Wisconsin law does allow that. That's the thing. And Stupid Dave has really thrown a fit about this and said that that's not legal. That's not justified. But it is. The court pointed that out too. It is justifiable. So just to make that clear, the ecosystem is going to have a little fit. They're going to tell you that that is not justifiable in any way, shape, or form. But it is. It is definitely justifiable. But in addition, so we see that because plaintiff's service attempts are in Wisconsin, plaintiffs are permitted to follow Wisconsin's service law. And again, which are stated in They tell you where that is, with noting Wisconsin requires a plaintiff to exercise reasonable diligence at personal service in the first instance. Only if that is not successful may a plaintiff attempt to serve a defendant by leaving the summons at the defendant's usual place of abode with a competent adult or a member of defendant's family. Now, this is where I think paint chips. See, almost every state has some statement like this. So paint chips admitting that his daddy ended up with service. Is Paint Chip's daddy a competent person? Is he a part of the family? See, I mean, he did provide service to see if they were going to throw this shit fit about it and pretend again that the service wasn't meant for junior. It was somehow meant for senior. Very stupid. Very stupid. They went online again. They bragged about it. They did a live stream. Ha 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 ha. They wrote all these articles about it. They admitted the service was provided. So this will be the same thing because almost every state has this same type of. It's just amazing. But here, the court finds that plaintiffs have made reasonably diligent efforts to serve Stupid Dave. The affidavit submitted along with plaintiff's motion show repeated efforts to serve Dave at locations believed to be associated with him. Additionally, plaintiffs state that they retained the services of a PI in locating him. Because plaintiff has have made reasonably diligent efforts to serve Stupid Dave, the court will allow substitute service by publication. So it notes here. Now, Dave said that this is not legal. Again, he was complaining and said it was totally illegal. He was told by ChatGPT. And I guess he was told probably from some of the lawyers that are attached to this too. Man, maybe not. Man, all you guys, that's wild, dude. And for real. Thank y'all. Goal, Matt. You've never actually set the goal. I've never set a goal on the screen. I just look at the thing. The only way I will set a legitimate goal is if I need it. If I set a goal, I need it. Okay. Like that was it was a joke kind of, but at the same, I do appreciate, I'm not minimizing or anything else. Again, it was a very great object lesson and very appreciated, by the way. And it helps. It's a birthday week for the little one. So it's great. But for me to set that little counter on there, it will be something I direly need. I've got to have. And if I ever do that, it's something that, like I said, I'm not saying like if I just mentioned a number there, okay. But if I ever set a goal, like I said, there is something, even if I don't note that, just right, it's direly needed in some way. I don't know. So, but with that, so Lynette, just to make this clear, okay, I can show you. There is actually here. I'm gonna make this. I'm going to make this 100% transparent too, so you can see it, because it does show on the screen. So there's a live streaming queue in the back, and you can see. So the chat revenue there, and again, this is without memberships. So memberships are about $30 in memberships. It was at $443 with 11 new memberships. So it actually says there's 11 memberships here now. Okay, so that would be well over the goal. So just again, she's like, oh my God, these people are monetized. Yeah, I do monetize you for sure. I do that, but it's just like this. You decided to let those people in their clown car drive your name all over the internet, and then you did too. So I don't know what to tell you, lady, but that's noted. And also, plaintiff must ensure that they comply with all requirements of service by publication under Wisconsin law. Plaintiff must also provide proof that it's done. So the 121 is discharged. That means the show cause that's good to go. You don't have to worry about that. The plaintiff does not have to come in. Jeremy Hales, Randy, they don't have to show cause. That's out. The deadline, again, to complete service for Stupid Dave is retroactively extended by 90 days from September the 2nd. So that pops it all the way to December the 1st. So right there, again, they have that, and they get to do that by publication. Now, there's a footnote here too, and it explains that plaintiffs seeking to use an alternative means of service, such as publication, should seek the court's permission before utilizing it. So they did that. They have followed all the rules that they need to. The court has said, yes, you may do so. Now, let's look at the bankruptcy thing too. It's a wild day, isn't it? Oh my God. Lord, let me see. Let me grab the bankruptcy paper real quick. Make sure there is nothing on there. And again, this points out their lies. They actually messed up really big time when they did this too. Because what they did here is they've been telling you for weeks that the bankruptcy is in effect. The whole ecosystem was telling you that, right? Now, again, as I said, I thought the bankruptcy would be allowed. Been saying that for a while, and you want to see it, definitely. Watch the fireworks that come from it. It will be amazing, all right? It will be. But they've been telling you for weeks, weeks that has already been on. So did it happen today, or did it happen weeks ago? That again, that's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie for it, Wow, Tinsel. Wow. Thank you for that, too. I appreciate you. Like I said, I appreciate you all. I don't know. I get lost for words with this stuff sometimes. I still do when live streaming. Like I said, I appreciate you all. I've been able to do this as work. And that's good, because with medical and stuff, when it hit me, I don't think I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? I can't hold down a regular thing, but I've been able to do this, and I love it. It's so good. It's scary to be out on your own, but it has been amazing. I've had time to research, time to parent. Oh my God, I love it. So anyway, let's check this out here. So this is the order. This is again, bankruptcy documentation. If you're wondering about the bankruptcy documentation, and date, notice the date here. This is today. So again, if this was all granted before, how are we just getting it now? That means again, 2L and the gang, all of them have been lying to all these people, and they'll go on. What'll blow my mind with this, it does with all of it, is the fact that they will go on. They will be like, ha, ha, ha. Now again, the bankruptcy, everybody wanted it. This is the worst thing that Lynette Preston, in my opinion, could have done. You know, what she should have done is comply. Actually, what she should have done way back when is stop. But she did. That would have been the best. But she let these people get in her ear. And I'm not saying she would ever stop anyway, but she didn't for sure. She thought money, money, money. And now she went from money, money, money to, God, I hope I don't lose any money. That's wild again. But this, again, Lynette, I'm not going to tell you what this will do. We're just going to watch it. There are certain things in this that I know are going to happen because I can see it. I can see what they're going to do. And they probably have, funny thing is that I have no way, I would be a novice on that, but I've watched enough cases and enough people get those Perry Mason moments, surprise, you know, that I can think of 3 things that were probably going to happen, and they're going to be really interesting to watch. And when they do, I'm going to be like, that's one of them, you know, that's one of them. But Lynette, again, you've never listened to anything we say. I don't expect you to start, but we've told you over and over that these people have done more harm to you. You blame Jeremy Hales for harm, but these people really harmed you, and you did, of course, too. So the order granting a debtor's motion to reinstate case. Again, noting this is bankruptcy courts. They don't typically remove your ability to have a bankruptcy. I like to. Apparently, bankruptcy is criminal. Did you know that? That's criminal, according to 2L in the gang. It's criminal. So I keep thinking, because like I said, I've filed bankruptcy before, and they're like, oh my God, you know, Tug's got a record. I'm like, a record? What? He filed bankruptcy. I'm like, debt discharge? You know, there's not debtor prisons, right? You can't go to jail for owing people money. In fact, you know, medical, a lot of people write that off, you know, because screw that medical industry. But it's funny when they collected money. If they think that's a crime, then them collecting money for Lynette Preston to file, wouldn't that be aiding and abetting? They also doubled down, by the way, on the bankruptcy lawyer. They doubled down. You should watch Miyagi's video. Miyagi's video is pretty good, I have to say, because they doubled down on the idea that this lawyer here is, quote unquote, appearing in the other cases. So they technically didn't lie to all those donors. So there's donors that gave $6,000 just to see the lawyer that's going to be in all the cases. Really, that Zoom call, that should piss people off. I would think that would piss me off. If you told me there's going to be a lawyer that's going to represent all these people, they're going to represent them all in all these cases. All you got to do, get $6,000. And then I get $6,000. Dude comes on that one Zoom call for a status update in the thumbnail case and the trespass 5. And they're like, yep, that's representing. What? No, that's not. That is not. He made an appearance. Wow. So does that mean like if I'm like, hey, Jeremy, you need another lawyer, you know? And I somehow get the link to every one of these when people go on. I'm like, hey, I got in there. You know, I'm really representing. I mean, see how stupid that is? Oh my God. But anyway, so the case is before the court. Debtor's motion to reinstate case after reviewing the motion with no objections. See, this is the thing they don't catch here. If there was a problem, if you think Jeremy Hales had a problem with it, do you think he would object? This should be a giveaway to Lynette. Like when you look at it, if Jeremy Hales had a real problem, or if Randy or whomever, they had a problem, they thought, oh my God, this thing right here, this could be detrimental. Don't you think they would object to it in some way? Don't you think they would pick up another lawyer, expert, whatever, and do their best to not let this happen? But nobody, not one of those people that you listed trying to write off their debt had any objection to this being reinstated. Now, why do you think that is, Lynette? Again, I'm sure you're like, oh, well, I've been told this, that, and the other. What has your team been right about? You should have even been in this right here where you have to reinstate it. You should have never had that happen, Lynette. You should have never been put in this situation. Once you filed, you should have had that block of time, and that was that. But you're idiots. And again, they'll be like, oh, look what we did. We delayed. No, you talked about, oh, my God. I got in trouble. You got in trouble with the court. The court actually jumped you for not showing up. So that was them. Just remember that, okay? But it's ordered that debtor's motion to reinstate case is granted, right? Now, they vacated again, so the above captioned case is reinstated effective upon entry in this order, okay? So the order dismissing case for failure to comply with notice of deadline to cure deficiencies, that's vacated. So again, the dismissal, it's taken off the record, and the reinstatement is good to go. Now, pursuant to the automatic stay termination on the date this case was dismissed and was not in effect for such date until the entry of this order, the automatic stay, again, 11 U.S.C. 362, shall become effective. You know what's funny, too? I talked to a bankruptcy expert. I talked to somebody that, out of all the lawyers that I've met, I actually talked to somebody that is very good at understanding all of this and how it can overlap into other stuff. And the conversation, my first thought was, my God, I'm going to get them on here. And then my second thought was, yeah, I'm not going to, because it's going to give these people ideas, and they're going to get an idea that they don't already have. So I'll wait for that. But after all of this pops up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in a lawyer expert that is going to tell you what kind of a massive fail this mess is, what they did here, how badly this is. And it's going to be fun because you can see it playing out. I mean, again, most of you are smart enough to sit down and truly break it down. You're smart people. So if you think about what could this cause, now you already know delays never work in their favor because there's more evidence that comes up. You find out more stuff. On top of that, we're finding out more. They've already given away the fact that they didn't turn certain things over when discovery took place for Fed 1. You know, they did not disclose the 3 freaking phone numbers that they're discharging, all of that stuff. We already know that, but there's more. There's much more. It's going to be good. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I feel like a kid at Christmas. And Lynette thinks that, see, what's funny too is Lynette thinks all of that is backing Hales. It's not. It's what is very humorous to me. If that aligns, again, I believe Jeremy Hales, I back the fact that he is 100% the aggrieved party. He is the victim of this mess. I very much believe that. But these clowns, even if I didn't think that, I would still laugh at these clowns because they were so stupid. Some of the stuff that they do is the worst possible nonsense. If they had a winning case, which they don't, if they would have had the ability, you know what's really crazy is the case that Jeremy Hales brought is a difficult one. It is. It's very difficult. That's why Bruce thought they could win right up from go, because it's difficult to bring. But everybody that Lynette pulled in on her side, they have either the only lawyer that was good. I never saw Sean. Again, I think Sean was handed a bum case in the protective order. I'm not counting the protective order in it. Okay. But the other protective, that's the protective order with Jeremy's protective order. I don't think that was winnable. I think that's garbage. He had no way to win. But the other protective order with Silverman, I think he was the only lawyer that was like, hey, I'm sure Sean probably gave same kind of advice. Again, he doesn't talk about this case, but if he did, I'm sure he would be like, yeah, I told him to stop. I told them not to give any more problems. That's probably the best advice there. But everything else, these idiots have advised him to do the worst things ever. The stupidest things. And I'm proud of them. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to effectively. It's like you hear people talk about batting 1,000. Well, it's hard to bat a 0. It's hard to bat 1,000, but it's hard to bat a 0, dude. But anyway, so Chapter 7 trustee previously assigned to the case. They're going to re-import. So they'll be reappointed. That's good too. I'm sure they already know certain things about your case. So that'll be fun times. And it'll proceed ordinary course with Chapter 7. So they go through, again, all of this. It's pretty basic stuff. Let's see. There's also, my favorite part, though, was Lynette bragging about it, not understanding that it was like a self-own. Now, Max Lab, by the way, yesterday, he brought up 2 other things. There's 2 other documents on this. I want to pull something up else with those, so I'll probably pull those maybe Thursday. I'm not sure if everything's ready, depending on what's going on tomorrow. I'm not sure what the show is tomorrow and everything else. I'm not sure, again, with Megan, I don't know how that works out. So we'll see what the thing is tomorrow. But there are a couple of dockets, again, that Max Lab pulled up. And I do think that they do need to be looked at. Now, one of them, for example, I'm just going to show you and again, props to you, Max Lab. I appreciate you, brother. But Max Lab pulled up, again, the answers, the defenses and counterclaims. Now, again, we've looked at some of this, but the defenses are amazing in some way. If you read through this stuff, I was reading through it again yesterday. I was like, man, this is about the Granger case. All right. You notice we've been getting all this goody again. Megan, maybe just stay away for one more week. No, I'm just kidding. I love it when Megan's here, but man, when she leaves, like we get all this crazy too. So I am so conflicted with it. But you really need to read through some of the amazing stuff here, I mean, I like how the clerk erroneously entered a default, even though I had already filed my stuff days earlier. I filed a motion to set it aside, but nothing has been done, which is being exploited by Mr. Shockett. I mean, look at this stuff. This is amazing. We have to read this. We will read this, you and I. We will compare it to the original filings. It will be a lot of fun. It will be. It'll probably be a Thursday thing. I'm gonna say there because there's so much. I mean, there's a bunch. Like Megan has missed out on the whole day today, so catching up. It won't just be like her being able to keep up. She's been, and again, the Laura Owens stuff is actually quite crazy. What I'm going to ask you to do too. Please, chat, do this for me. On Megan's channel, she has put up a couple of shorts. And no, not like clothes, like videos. There might be some shoulder in it for you. No, but she's put up some short videos and she's really telling you about that. I mean, again, she is on the ground reporting. She and Rosalind are there. In the Laura Owens case, if you guys are not keeping up with that, it is crazy. It's crazy business. I find it really, really like just madness. And Laura Owens didn't show. She came in with an excuse where she said she had a doctor. And the doctor was saying essentially it was life-threatening for her to travel. The quote-unquote doctor was a nurse practitioner, and David Gingy was attached to it too. So with that, the judge has essentially said, "Hey, I'm not letting you do this crap." You didn't file your things right. This is wrong. Be here tomorrow. So otherwise, it looks like it'll probably be dismissed. Now, as part of that, there is there's one item that it needs to be brought up, and they will probably need to raise about $3,000 or to $4,000. I'm not sure the exact number, but it's a big deal. Laura Owens managed to put a guy under a erroneous protective order. See, this is what kills me with the claims like Lynette Preston makes. I've seen a garbage protective order before, and that's what Laura Owens did. Laura Owens took a guy that was a victim. He went to the police. He said, this woman is stalking me. She's stalking my girlfriend. She's doing all of this stuff. And the police, instead of helping him, told her, hey, go to court and file this. So the police essentially made him the victim, and made her, well, rather, it made him more of a victim, but made her on paper look like the victim. And she would have continued this for years. She lost in court to Clayton Eckert. And even doing that, she still kept going after this guy, Mike Maroncini. This guy has been railroaded, and he's finally there getting justice, and he deserves it. He does. You see what these people do in this other case here? That is equally important. So check out Megan's videos on those. It's good stuff. It's an entertaining case, but at the end of all these cases, there are victims. And I think that is equally important. Now, there was one other document we talked about briefly yesterday, but I do want to bring it up too. It is the document talking about motion to tax costs. Now, this was Brian. I actually like this. I think this is funny because this here for rescheduling, this this feels like something that a BBB would be like, oh yeah, this is great for me, right? It pushes it out all this time out there. Yeah. Right off the bat, I thought, that would have opened the door for other stuff. Again, we'll see how certain things play in the court going forward in the next couple of weeks. We'll see exactly what happens with certain items. But this right here, this was something weird. They tried celebrating like it was some kind of win, and it's rescheduled. Now, they have done everything in their power. Again, what they think is if they kick that proverbial can down the road long enough, that there will never be a day when things are due. They think they can delay and delay and delay. And they think that if you can get reschedulings and, you can push out farther and farther, it will delay the inevitable. And yes, they can delay the inevitable, but it doesn't stop it, and that's the mistake in it. I think one of the problems, though, that has happened here is that in delaying the inevitable, that it has emboldened some very bad behavior. I mean, again, the other day, we were talking about this. The other day, I don't know if a lot of people realize this, but Paint Chips did an article where he doxed kids associated with. Actually, I saw a lot of people posting about this, or I would not read it because it's so gross. But he put up kids associated with the lawyers that are on this case. And I thought, man, that is disgusting. They all say that they don't endorse this stuff, man. All these garbage mods. And again, it's really interesting that the mods that are over there, they do their show. They act, like they're not part of the fray. One of them makes a song that Paint Chips utilizes. It's pretty gross. They seem they weren't happy about him using it at first, but I mean, yeah, you see how they'll get in line. They definitely get in line, but they also set on panels where they pull up Paint Chips filing. And in part of that, there's a picture of one of the people covering this, a female. And in the back, there's all these adult, I'm going to say products, and they're meant to harass and defame a female. And if that happened to one of them, they would lose their ever-loving minds. They would. They'd be calling for all kinds of horrible stuff, but they're okay with it. And I think that says a lot about these folks. They're okay with sitting around with felons, with people who have freaking scammed. They have scammed vulnerable populations, with some of them being vulnerable populations. They fall into the same people that, they sit around and they talk about the elderly and the indigent. And these are the same people that have been targeted by some of their fucking fellows out there that they seem to enjoy the company of so much. But they target, well, like I said, they target female, they target all of that. And they're quite happy to roll through that and have a good laugh at it. Like I said, if that stuff were happening to them, they would not appreciate it. But they play the victim. They're like, oh, this is a response to, and no, it's not. It's garbage, man. But anyway, let's hit some super chats tonight. Let's do it. And Lynette, again, the point out here, and thank you all for helping out. There were multiple super chats. You can see here that if you treated people decently, there would be people that would help you. But you don't. You don't. And it comes back over and over. Again, if you want to argue about that too, I'll pull up all your statements about people. I'll pull them up. We can go through them. I did it the other night. Your PR folks, all of that. Your boy, your hubby. I thought it was so great. There was more added to this the other day, but I did think it was crazy. For example, when that lady said, I talked about this, but there's been more added to it. But when this lady here, Liz, was like, yo, I gave $2,700. You should ask for help. You should do that. And then Cook comes in and is like, you're such a piece of, you're a fake. You're awful. And this person's like, yo, you're ungrateful. You're awful. And then they beg again. Here goes back with the begging for $5,000. Not only that, but this person who, again, they tried to help out. They got banned. They got banned by 2L. And it's, they noted this. Look at this. I want to pull up their statement as well. They said to Preston after she begged them for more money, which I'll not help you at all because you're not trying to get the money that has been donated. Plus, you can thank John as well for attacking me. So this is right here. These are people who have given thousands of dollars, and they're like, look, you're attacking me. I'm not giving you anything else, and you're not going after the money we gave beforehand. You're not doing anything. I've contacted the feds with the help of my local police department. I did reach out to Levy County as well. They said it's a civil matter, but my local police department told me it was donation fraud from 2L and Bruce. I've received my money back from American Express. Their fraud investigators from American Express are looking into this as well. So, what a shocker there, right? But this is another instance, again, of the thing I'm talking about. They came in and they attacked. This is one of many times they've attacked many people that have come in. And again, the way they can handle that, you don't have to be a placemat or carpet or whatever. But what you do is you remember if you think that these people are misguided, especially the people who used to give you money. You talk about Muppets and all of this stuff, but those people in that 2L chat, if you think those people have been misguided by Lisa, what have you done to get them back on your side? What have you really done? Because when they ask questions or when they're angry, you curse at them and you talk to them like garbage and you tell them they will pay, God will make them pay. It's pretty crazy stuff. But anyway, let's do this here. I just wanted to show you that. Andre, what's up? Thanks for that too there. It's my 25th anniversary. Hell yeah, you can have a song, my friend. Yeah, Andre, and happy freaking anniversary. That is awesome. Remember, I need an anniversary song. I need to make one. I am. Maybe this weekend I'll get one out. Here we go.
Happy birthday!
Anniversary rap.
From both of us to you. Happy birthday! May all your dreams come true.
25.
Happy
Happy anniversary.
We love to have you here. Happy birthday! Here's to another year.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Love to you, brother. William, thanks for the vibe. Welcome to Mr. Tug's neighborhood. Jazz work was pretty funny. Yes, by the way, if you have not checked out JK's songs, oh my God, they are funny. If somebody could link that, that would be great too. Yeah, the Mr. Tug's neighborhood stuff is really good. I've made notes. So in part of my notes to cover, again, bankruptcy, camper, I need to go over the spooky Sunday fun day for the Only Me stuff, the Granger and Granger counterclaims, the bankruptcy stuff, the posts and madness, the tax costs, which I did hit that. But I put in the Miyagi video, which again, you all should check out. It's pretty good. And Tizzy made a damn good video too. Tizzy has a good one up there as well. And I'm sure there are more, like I said. That's what I can think of right off the bat. And I'm sure there's a lot more that I need to write down and cover. Oh, not your average explorer. Thanks for the two. Thanks, Tug, for all you do. Well, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Carol, thank you for the super chat there. Thank you. There is I said super chat for the membership. My brain, Sorry. I've looked at so many documents today. I'm like, oh, and trying to keep it all straight, forgetting words. There you go. Carol, thank you for the membership too. I love that. Thank you. Like I said, you folks that give those, they're much appreciated. And I love that they go to people. Who's down under? Thank you for the two there. Lurking tax, just want to be counted in the view count. Yes, indeed. And thank you. You notice when lurkers start talking, you notice the view count goes up, and it's kind of crazy. All of you are there, but when you make a comment toward that, at a certain time, the view count starts going up. It is strange, isn't it? That's something that was noticed. I think it's part of the AI programming that all of these different platforms are using. Like Twitch got caught doing that heavily. There was a live streamer that said they had a couple of hundred people, and they were like, "Hey, everybody comment!" And when they did, it jumped to like 600 viewers. It was like, wait a minute, those viewers are there; they're watching. It's just their stupid thing, They're discounting quote unquote lurkers, and that's garbage. So I'll keep noting that, and thank you all for commenting. Thank you for everything you do. Joan dropped that super sticker too. Thank you, Joan. Those are cool. Like I said, I love those. I love memberships. They're amazing. Thank you. Valor View, what's up? Thanks for the two there. 2 Polymop parody commercials in my email. Oh man, I'm gonna have to check this out, my friend. I appreciate it. I'm thinking about making a few. The little one has been talking about, I want to do some limited commission. So I thought about making some of those polyflop bracelets. I think they're funny. I like them. I thought about letting her do maybe 10 or less. I don't know, but I think these things are funny. Polyflop. I told her, you know what I'm going to do too. So I put in a request for a new one as well. I put in a request for an all blue one, and it says blue tape across the front. I want a blue tape one as well. Oh, I think those will be hilarious. Oh my God. I think that'll be amazing. The blue tape. The blue tape is amazing. It will cure everything, I hear. But I'll check that out, Valorview. I appreciate you. Not your average explorer. Thanks for the 2. Does the filing pause the lawsuit? Yes, it will go in, and somebody, again, what's crazy is Lynette should be the one informing the court of these things too. It shouldn't be Randy having to make filings about this stuff. But yes, they will end up pausing the lawsuits. And that's okay. And it's actually, like I said, it's a good thing in its own way. It sucks for Hales because, again, it delays justice. But at the same time, now, when I say it delays, Fed 2 is still on the move, you know. So Fed 2, it's it has so many other players in it that, like, that thing, again, it continues, and yet you notice the serve stupid Dave by December. I mean, that's gonna take up another month plus. So you're still in a long haul in that. I mean, just getting the people served, and it shouldn't take this amount of time. This is nuts. These people should be punished for evasion when they're out there bragging about it. It shouldn't just be, yeah, you know what, we can get a time extension. No. There should be more. There should be a lot more, but we'll see what happens with paint chips too. Cynic, thanks for the 5 there. Laura Owens is quite the dilemma. Yes, Gingers needs her to show up to bolster bar case, but she risks her bail. Yes, indeed, being revoked if she does it without permission. Indeed, I don't think she'll show up for anything. I think that Gingy is in a lot of trouble. I think they're all in trouble. We warned David, man. You know what? Like, what's crazy about this is when David was pulling all this crazy bullshit, you know, there was a time when he went back on YouTube and he started making videos. People were like, oh, you know, he's funny. Because he can, if he's not just off the wall insane. They were like, oh, we forgive. I was like, no, man, he is not. He's a bad person. You need to avoid him. People were like, no, it's okay. And look, it took him, what, a week to go off the rails. But people were willing to. That's not an I told you so either. What it's actually showing is the majority of people are much nicer than I am in the fact that they would probably forgive this. I wouldn't. I would not forgive the slights from Gingras. I wouldn't. But many of them would. They would find him entertaining and whatever, you know. But instead, he just kept going downhill, digging himself a deeper hole, and look where he is now. Now he's dependent on Laura Owens, and where's that going to get you? Well, unless he's a potential baby daddy, I don't know. Travis, thanks for the 2. What's up, Travis, my friend? Hope you and my family, mom, chat, doing great. Thank you, brother. Yes, I'm doing great, by the way, and I hope all of you are doing great as well. Leotila, 47 months, man. That is awesome. You're rolling up on yet another, man. I'm telling you, lots of years there. You know, when you think about that, that is amazing. And props to you. Again, I cannot say that enough. You people have been here, all of you, really. But man, some people, you know. People just keep allowing me to cover. Again, we shave off like the mainstream people that hope that like the channel would jump onto more mainstream cases, you know, and that they didn't know from before, and that's okay. You know, I picked them up when things blew, but I picked up a lot of people that stayed too. You know, like that. I thank you. Dre, what's up, man? Thanks for the month there. Well, LMNOP lose all her stuff at the flea market to play the creditor. Well, you're allowed personal goods, but one of her problems is, first of all, she's not declared all of her stuff. See, this is where she's going to run into some interesting issues, depending on how it's promoted. She has a lot of stuff that she obviously, see, you can have your case kicked for the stuff that she's pulled. Because again, you're allowed personal products, but you know, she's tried to play it belongs to HG, it belongs to John, but she posts repeatedly the stuff belongs to her. So could she lose? Potentially she could lose stuff, but her problem too is, again, she could destroy her case, or worse, she could end up in trouble for the BS that she's pulling. You know, pleading ignorance of the law in and of itself is not an excuse to break the law. So you have to be careful with that. And again, you know, when I say this stuff too, I don't root for big government. You know, I don't like big government rooting around in your issues. I think if you have problems, you know, if you need assistance, you should have it. So these people make me walk a really crazy line. You know, they do, because these people, they destroy people's lives while doing this. And I think that's garbage. I don't want to underwrite that. But yeah, they could cause all kinds of problems for themselves. Cynic, thanks for the two. Is Camper World selling more campers of that model? Yes, yes. There were a few, I think there were a couple in Florida, and there were other models too. The thing that threw me off though, again, when she posted about this, what she stated was that this is the camper, you know, and the way she states it, again, she can clarify this, but she makes it sound like that is the specific camper that we're talking about there. And it's just, it's strange. Again, I've never dealt with Camper World, but I would think if it's coming through them, then why exactly would she worry about the hoses? So again, if she's talking about just some random thing she picked up from some other person, I think I figured out the other camper she was talking about before. See, okay, I think, again, I don't want to say yet who I think it belonged to, but I think I know. There were two big clues in there. You had Lynette Preston talking about in Levy County, there was a camper that she had tried to pick up. And then 2L knew about who had it and stuff. And there was a person for a little while that they picked up on and they started talking about, and we were all like, are they going to be the next grift target? Well, if they're not the next grift, sometimes people want something from them. And I thought, who owns a vehicle like that? And these people started suddenly paying attention to, like they had some kind of value. So I think I might have figured. Now again, I'm not saying, because I'm not saying that definitively, but I think I know where the other camper was from. But with this one, again, Lynette Preston needs to clarify her statements on that stuff, because she pulled up a 3-year-old video and said, this right here, this right here. Now she's just saying that model camper. Okay. But she shared pictures of it and more, making it look like it's that specific camper, you know, like she's done before. So it looks like she's saying the camper in that video right there, the one I'm showing pictures of, that's the one we're buying. And maybe they have it. I don't know. I'm not sure. But sitting around for 3 years, man. She said mold pops up if you let them set too long. So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, they did have some more. Andre, thanks for the two there. If in debt and in need of a home, sell the Jeep. Yeah, we definitely get that thing off of. Now again, maybe they have, but they need to get that off of their budget, because that thing is way too expensive. That is not a deal. You could go out for the amount of money that they paid. They paid about $700 and something. I bought a 2005. Now again, it's not a 2020 or anything, but I bought a 2005 Jeep. Nice wide Jeep. It was good. Ran for 2.5 years. Still outside. You know, it's just parked, and it probably needs a battery. When it parked, it needed a battery, and it has a few issues here and there, but it ran me for 2.5 years. Now, the amount of money that they paid, they could have bought that outright, that vehicle. And you can find vehicles like that all over, but they could have bought that vehicle in 4 months and still had money left over. So with 5 months of money that they put together, they could have had that. They could put brand new tires on it and everything else. But it's not flashy and a show vehicle. But still, it would have been their vehicle. They wouldn't be paying $750. I mean, that's insane. You think about that in financing terms. If you're paying $750 a month, think about it. I mean, really, you're paying $9,000 a year So in the, what, 3 years they've been, that's 20. God, that's a lot of money. Wow. I don't wait, but that it really is a lot of money, you know? I mean, when you're dropping $27,000 in 3 years, that would have been the equal again. They could have bought 10 of the vehicle that I bought, plus had money left over. Now, I got a Armada, a 2020 Armada with the kids. So I drive around. I've had it. That's my vehicle for riding the kids around. For myself, I'd have a freaking multiple decades old vehicle. I just ride around and don't care. You know, as long as it has air conditioning and I'm comfortable, I'm good. But I want a tank for the girls. You know, I want them to be safe. So I have a 2020. Again, you know, buy it used. Make sure it's still, I would never pick up a vehicle with that. And if you're in the same kind of situation like that too, folks, if you overextend yourself, God, get out of that, you know, because these people, they're paying for your home. You should be, they were saying that they could finance their home, their RV for $125 a month. So the vehicle they're driving around is costing them 5+ times what their home is costing. It's bad, man. It's about 1/3 on your home of what you make, you know, at most. And then vehicle, work it out. If you're on benefits and stuff, man, find you a durable used vehicle. Anyway, who cares? They don't ever listen. They don't care. All that shit, you know, if you're trying to show off for other people, who cares, man? You know, Sherry thinks for the 5. Wonder what her creditors and the bankrupts are going to think. Can't pay them, but I can finance an RV. Well, it's actually under John's name. That's what they did. They put it under John. So it's not under her. They, in fact, John bragged about that. He made sure to brag about it, which is always amazing too. You know, when they brag, there's another thing you don't brag about either. You don't brag about money and spending and all of that. Like I can tell you about certain things, like when we do them with the girls and stuff, that's a thing. But you never look like you're like, oh, you know, it's so tactless. And that's why people don't give money to these. I mean, I swear. And they also, you know, they were like, well, if something happens to me, well, John, you know, it's really crazy too. I would never make this statement, by the way. So John said, if something happens to me, the RV will belong to Michelle. You know what kind of things she said about you, right, John? You do know the bad things. And some of those kind of statements, I would never say, well, if something happened to me, then no. When people make statements about you like that, that's scary. He also thinks, again, he has been sold the idea that the default judgment, he thinks that the Grangers are going to be held in default. It's crazy. I'm going to talk about that by itself. It's fun times. But Dark Side Harley Girl, thanks for the 10 there. She's lying. Camping World will deliver free up to 50 miles. Camping World 50 miles from Otter Creek. Scam. Well, that's interesting. Again, I don't know definitive. They pulled up a Camping World video. So that's why I'm saying their statements, if you look at that post, it does look like they're saying it is that. Why else would you take the specific pictures from that one and say, you know, it's that? So yeah, Camping World, you would think that again, they're a big business. You could work out something to get it delivered. So what's the problem there? Is it penalty, like fees and tax and stuff? Are you trying to get people to pay that off? Or again, is it some outside person? And again, if you're wanting money from people, you don't, you know, here's the thing too. They don't have to clarify this, but if they're asking the public for money and they show all these pictures, why not clarify it? You know, like I said, they'll scream about scam. People, they're saying I'm doing this or that. I asked for clarification. I think I've been I think I'm pretty fair in the way that I word things. You know, It looks very weird. But again, maybe that's just in your weird wording. Maybe you should stop telling people they're going to be smoked by God too when they ask you questions. That would probably be good as well. Kelly, thanks for the 5 there. If the town is enforcing rules, you could get in trouble for another camper coming in. Yeah, the problem with that is rule-wise, they could have an issue. But Levy County doing something, I swear, man, Levy County is so useless. What's funny is most of the, what's amazing is everybody seems to agree that Levy County does nothing. I mean, they do nothing, they don't care. It's crazy. Cynic, what's up? Thanks for the 5 there. Hell, I give up. Yeah, I agree with this, man. If I thought that there was a way to separate giving something to Lynette Preston, I would even consider helping a little kid, because I have a little kid like that, and I wouldn't want my little kid living in a fucking shed. But I can't separate them. It breaks my heart, because I think about my little girl, and I think about her having to grow up that way, and I can't think about that. That's awful, I think about, just the awful circumstances there. But I'm reminded that the people that they weaponize, they do, they absolutely do. And it's sad. I would never give a penny. I wouldn't flick spare change. I wouldn't flick a cigarette butt toward freaking John Cook. That guy's an awful person, awful human being. He makes it clear all the time online. And some of the stuff he has posted and said, gross, man. Gross stuff. I would never want my money falling in his hands. I would never help them. But yeah, if I could differentiate that, I would very much consider it. But Moody Nana, thanks for the 2 there. Birthday girl money. Well, thank you. By the way, she will. I don't know what the topic will be Friday, but I know that she will come on for a little bit. So I told her she could. So we will have our regular topic, whatever that will be. But she will carve out part of it. It's her birthday, and she is excited to. So if you were around Friday, if you want to give some encouragement and love, she's looking forward to talk whatever she talks about. Again, she's such a good kid. Both of them are great kids. The oldest is such a good kid, though, such a loving, caring person. Like, I'm proud of her and who she is. So it'll be fun, like having her come on. Tracy, thanks for the 20. I'd rather dance with the devil than trust anything to come out of the cake hole. That's right. That's right. Indeed. And Tracy dropped 5 gifted memberships too. Thank you, Tracy. Did that and that. That's amazing. Thank you. Oh, by the way, this is random. I'm just noting this. I watched The Long Walk last night. That is based on the Stephen King book. I did want to see it in theaters bad enough that I set aside the instead of a book last time where somebody was like, get a book or some entertainment. I was like, I'm going to get that. This thing's expensive when they come up first, but I didn't go to the theater. So I watched it at home, picked it up, and I liked it all. But I'm going to be vague. I'm not going to ruin anything for you, but the ending, we'll have to talk about it one day. But I've always liked that story. I always liked it. It was Stephen King's first book he wrote. Now, not published, but it was the first one he wrote. Got published under Bachman. I always liked that story. Anyway, maybe not. Thank you. Also, goal. Did I hear goal? Maybe not, man. Like I said, maybe not, dude. I very much appreciate you. I appreciate the fact, like I said, you're just funny, first of all. Your name, even the name, like I've said many times, it makes me laugh. So I appreciate you. Wendy, thanks, dude. It amazes me. LP has no criminal record or jail. Indeed. Many aliases. Many aliases. Pink Rose, thanks for the 2 there. We love our tongue kids. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's another thing I've tried to make clear. You know, the ecosystem weirdos, when they threatened kids, like when they made I was like, you know, people actually like them. All that will do is cost you. Yeah, you're gonna speak to your diehards, but you lose those people that don't speak. Regular people don't like folks threatening kids. They don't like people who threaten kids. They harm animals. they've had the whole version there, you know, all of that and more. So maybe not. Drop that 20 there too. Pretty sure Doug said something about a goal. Yes, and we did very well with it. And thank you, maybe not. Very much. Appreciate you. I very much so, like I said. And Joe, thank you for the 10 there for the goal. Hey, here's a question. Where you're from, do you say aunt or do you say aunt? I'm curious about that. My daughter, my oldest, was noting that. She was like, it's aunt, right, Dad? I was like, yeah, we're from the South. It's aunt to me. That's the way we say it here. Aunt, whatever. So I'm curious. Do you say like A-N-T, aunt, or aunt? You know, where you pronounce it all. I'm curious. No right answer, by the way. I have my favorites. Thanks for the 10. Give me a G. Give me an O. Give me an A. Give me an L. What's that spell? Object lesson. No, it spells go. Object lesson for sure, too. Thank you. Deborah dropped 10 there. Thank you, Deborah. You know, there's not a statement attached, but that is its own statement. Thank you. Yeah, see, there's a lot of you that aunt. There's some aunt. There's some aunts in there, too. I'm curious. See, there's a lot of, okay, I feel better about that. Thank you. They killed the cricket? No, Lynn, I haven't heard the cricket lately. I thought maybe he just went away for a little while, you know? He got tired of it. But no, maybe something happened. Right, I thought that was funny. Are you sure it's not a Lego camper? Indeed. Indeed. Jada, thanks for the 5 for Lug's birthday. Thank you. That is awesome of you and much appreciated. Thank you. Lynn, 10 months, man, roll into that year. Thank you for the thank you for the last. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this. I love it. Auntie. Yeah, I've never had, well, it's just like for grandma, my mom didn't want to be called grandma. So we had Gigi. It was so funny. I kept telling her, she was like, I want a name like not grandma. I was like, what could we call you? She was like, I don't want anything that sounds rough or bad because I know you. I was like, let's call you Grizzle. You know, that sounds. She's like, that's the worst name I've ever heard. Grizzle. Grizzle. It sounds like tough leather or something. It sounds like a bear in tough leather. Oh man, Buck Naked, thanks 5. Oh, so you don't have to laid out all the funds. I needed to refile the bankruptcy. Oh man, funny that comes out to $450. Wow, that is interesting, isn't it? I need to shoot me a link to that. I'll bring that up. And thank you. I watch So You Don't Have To. I see him playing around, goofing off on Facebook. I always go in and look at breakdowns anytime I get a chance. You know, some of these, a few of them I hate, I cannot watch a 5-hour live stream of theirs. I can't do it. But I have caught some clips of this and that to laugh at their stupid. Last night was, you know, it was funny because, again, it was all about, you know, buy this really crappy rock. Which, okay, whatever. They tried to have a book sale. That was really funny, too. They were selling a bunch of books. It's like, man, maybe you folks should read a few of them. I don't know. maybe that would help. Venom, thanks to the 2. I'm donating to the cause. $1 trillion. Yes, thank you. I always wanted $1 trillion. Thank you there. D spills the tea. What's up? Hey, D, by the way, appreciate you. You know, for sure. D spills the tea. Did some excellent work. You know, again, got targeted by these weirdos. Appreciate you, though. Very much so. For the birthday go, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Aries, thanks for the 10. First time donor. Well, hey, thank you. I much appreciate that. I like your cute dog too. Hey, if you want to turn your little dog, I don't know if you're interested in this, but if you want to turn your dog into a Muppet, by the way, shoot me a picture of it. Shoot it over to my email at granularheaven@gmail.com, and I'll shoot you back a little Muppetized one if you want. I mean, again, no obligation on there, but it's cute. I think it would make a cute Muppet too, So let me know on that. Texas Sprout, thanks for the 20 there. Gold time. Thank you. Gold time indeed, baby. Texas proud too. That's awesome. I know a lot of Texans, Texans and Tennesseans, man. We all get along very well, like it. Natalie, thanks for the 10 there. Natalie, there's not a statement. Again, it is its statement. Backing, goal seeking. Thank you. Maybe not. Thanks for the hundo there. Tuck, I think you forgot to actually set the goal. Like I said, we talked about that. I think mentioning it sets it, but yes, I've never hit that button. I never have. I've never used the goal set. Like if you go back, I've never set one myself. When I do it, you'll be like, oh my God, Doug actually needs this for some reason, So, Intimidator, man, what's up, Intimidator, my friend? You talk about Intimidator, man. Love to you, brother. It's good to see you, my friend. All the way back. What is that, 2019, sir? Hey, Tuck. Hope you and your family are doing well. By the way, do you know what someone with a birthday in May can do if they're in trouble or in danger? They can put out a Mayday. Indeed. I remember that. I have a birthday in May. Anytime I'm in trouble, I'll put out a Mayday. Mayday. It's funny. Good to see you and your dad jokes. I need to load them up. Thank you, brother. K-Mad. What's up, K-Mad Red Queen? Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships there. Thank you for that. I'll look at your freaking avatar. That's awesome too. Thank you. Joe, thanks for the 20 there for Lux. Happy birthday. Well, thank you. She will appreciate that. Oh, she's looking forward to it. She's looking forward to, well, she is and she isn't. She's like, I don't want to get old. I don't want to be an adult. I like being a kid, I'm like, well, enjoy those years, She's like, I don't want to change as I get older. I'm like, you don't have to change. All you have to do is, you have a responsibility. But look at me. I'm like a 15-year-old kid some days. So, it's like, seriously, I could be, I'm going to be like when I'm a 90-year-old kid, I'm going to be there. But you know what I'm saying? Like we all would. I think like some of the best 65-year, 70-year-olds, 80, you know what I mean? All of our ages. I think you can be a kid at heart. That's what I keep telling her. Yeah, you'll have a response. She's like, I don't want responsibility like paying bills. She cracks me up. Let's see, Linda, thanks for the 10 there. 5 Below shopping. Thank you, Linda. That is awesome of you and much appreciated. They will love that, I'm sure. I love it. Big time. Thank you. L Flogging Lou. Thanks for the 17 months there. Happy birthday, Lug. Excited for her show now. I know she's excited too. She wants to co-host with Dad. Again, we will cover certain things. Was that Muppet covered in blue? I love the Muppets. Here's the cool thing too. After you have a Muppet avatar, AI doesn't argue with you anymore over the logistics of it. They make it harder and harder to make fun avatars, even your own. Now, for me, I don't have a human face on my avatar, so it's all good to go. But they make it harder and harder, or try to. Give me a second here. That'll be great. A flocking Lou. I love your freaking tape over the face, too. That's cute. I have my favorites. Drop 20. Happy birthday, Lug. Thank you. Like I said, she will be excited, man. If people are around, again, even for a couple of minutes on Friday, it'll be fun. I think y'all enjoy her. We'll have her, like I said, we'll have a regular show thing, but she'll come on and we'll just talk about whatever. It'll be fun. Lynn dropped 5 there. Thank you, Lynn. I like your Muppet too. like that. Lug's birthday. Thank you. Appreciate that. JC, thanks for the 2 there. Justice moves like a snail going uphill. Yes, indeed. Indeed. I mean, justice is. You look though. Look at lawsuits like against, like for police. Again, you got to remember, and there is one against Dan Owens in the city. You look at how long some of those take. They take years and years, you know. But they're worth it in the end. They are. Maybe not. Drop that 50 there. Go, Matt, I think. You never actually said the goal. Indeed. Indeed. And thank you. Maybe not. I appreciate it. I did try to keep people up to date, though. I've been bad about that in the past. And I apologize. Yeah. I mean, having the timer that would like tell people where we are, which is good. But and thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership and welcome to Tugs Thugs. Thank you, Ann. I appreciate it. It is good to see you. Tinsel dropped a hundo. Hundo, baby. Thank you, Tinsel, there. Just a piss on others. Use as you like. Some for the birthday girl. Thank you. I appreciate that. Actually, I bought a book. I usually don't buy books when they come out. Joe Hill, you know, King's Kid, he had a brand new book come out, and I thought it sounded good. As long as he, you know, as I've said before, I don't really care where your politics lies. But when I'm when I'm enjoying something, I also don't want to listen to somebody rant about politics. And sometimes he goes off the rails in his books like that. But if he can keep that under control, he can write a good book. And he wrote a new book called King Sorrow. It's about these this guy who essentially he works with old books. He works in an exceptional library, etc. But he ends up in a romance with this girl, and she has a problem with a local drug dealer. So they want him to steal rare books and do everything else. Well, when he gets trapped, this is from the synopsis there. When he gets trapped, he dreams up a scheme with one of his friends who tells him, "Hey, there's a book there, and this book, it summons a creature, a dragon, and that dragon, oh yeah, it can do whatever. It can take care of this issue." The problem is when they do it, when they bring this thing in, they make a pact with it to handle the issue. They have to they step into a terrifying bargain in which these 6 people that do it, they have to sacrifice something to this thing every year, or else it comes after them. So that might be a good book. He writes a good horror book, and I always like a good one. Fallen Hero, thank you. Gifted membership. Good to see you, Fallen Hero, my friend. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Mad Hatter, thanks for the 20. Or I said 20. Thanks for the 222. Doesn't matter, but thank you. Thank you. It's all appreciated, like I said. You know, Lynette could have made money before all this on her own. Yes, that's what we keep saying. We gave her advice. I was like, Otter Creek Elvis, you could perform weddings there. God, she could be as nasty and ruthless. You know those restaurants where people come in and get insulted? Like, she would be hilarious to insult you, like at your wedding. You know what I mean? God, she would be absolutely hilarious. She could have gone. She could have made bank. She could come in again. She could have talked all the trash she wanted. I could have made that woman a millionaire. For real. Could have made that woman a millionaire. Had a great ideas for her. She wouldn't be like, she teamed up with these people that, again, they enriched themselves. They thought they were going to get rich off of her, and they sold her a pipe dream of getting rich. But I could have told her how to make bank. And the thing off of that too is Hales would still be running his business. It would have brought her business. She'd never have to like the guy. She could have run her own thing off on her own property. And she could have she could have been his biggest detractor. I mean, honestly, and it wouldn't matter. She could have ran her own business and made bank. But instead, look at where she's at now. What a mess. Man, Ann. Appreciate you. Again, thank you. Dropping that gifted membership too. Thank you, Ann. That is awesome of you, by the way. Appreciate you. Knock it up. Thank you for the 10 there. It simply baffles me how easily these morons are able to dig these shitholes. That's right. And how ample these holes are. Yes. Please tell me why Bolito is taking so long to sanction BBB. It makes no sense. Well, it's because in Fed 1, it's parked still. So Fed 1, it's a good question, first of all. He honestly, he could have still done this. But if you're going to go with, let's just go. I sometimes, you know, like I said, I don't feel good about it at all. I'm going to go with an excuse. And again, I hope we see a real result out of this. If you were going to give him the benefit of the doubt, it would be because Fed 1 has been paused. And in fact, Fed 1 has been frozen for a while. You had the, you had that hearing. After that hearing, way back when, this tells you how long these cases have been frozen, by the way. After that hearing, we had it locked up because of the hearing while everything was being decided. Now, one of the things that was being decided at the time was whether or not the judge would have to be recused. That's what Bruce asked for, right? That was one of his big last motions. So another judge comes in, takes time to get that motion in there. When we get the answer to that, when we finally have the case move, within days of it moving, right when it opens up, we have filing go in and bam, it's frozen up by the bankruptcy. They're trying to freeze the case and keep it from moving. They're throwing everything they can at it. And that's at least the excuse for BB. The only problem is that stuff emboldens behavior. If you tell people there's no consequence ever for the behavior, how far will they go? Honestly, I mean, some people are bound by morality or ethics, and that will take you so far. Many people can fit all kinds of behavior, including behavior I would find repugnant, within the guidelines of their personal quote unquote ethics or morals. So I think I think you're right. Frustration there. You have a good point. It's a good reason. I can see the frustration. And then yes, it's good. What's up, Lynn? By the way, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Lynn. That is awesome. Thank you for giving those and for supporting the channel and supporting others while you're doing it. Thank you. Crystal, thanks for the 5 there. Doesn't LP have to pay money to the court before he moves forward? Does she have to pay for classes? They have to pay filing fees. Again, that's why I'm going to have to look at the stuff with the filing fees. That's right there, I think. Yeah. Now, Cynic is right here, in my opinion, 100%. Like I said, with Fed 2, I can't say what again, we've gone nowhere with Fed 2. So what are my opinions on it? I don't know. I haven't gotten the layout of Fed 2 at all. We haven't seen a filing come in with a judge's idea of how he's going to approach things. We're nowhere. But in Fed 1, like he notes, Fed 1 is probably already lost due to their failure to turn over discovery. Yes, they screwed up bad when they did not turn over discovery. And there have been so many deleted pages and more. They're screwed in Fed 1. I think Fed 1 is bad. And I think Bruce Belling shows you that too. They keep locking it up and hoping they can delay it forever. But they won't delay forever. Ultimately, sooner or later, again, it's just like anything else. There will come a time when the bill comes due. And the only person that all of these people, they hope is going to pay is Lynette Preston. Lynette, they left you on the hook. They screwed you, lady. And again, they just keep kicking the default judgment that's coming down the road. Yes, I 100% believe that too, my friend. I 100%. I think you're totally right in that. I think they've screwed up so badly. And I think the way that they act, the way that they avoid Fed 1, they pretend it isn't, because they don't want to talk about it. They all want to pretend it's not there. And you notice the ecosystem, when Lynette says crazy things like, about discovery and stuff, you notice they never correct any of that. They let her believe that things are okay. Lynette, man, like I said, when that trash fire hits, I hope you remember those people. I hope you pay them back in kind. I hope when you find out, they're afraid of you, Lynette. You have more power in this because they conspired with you. You have way more power than you realize. You have more power over 2L than you realize. That's the great thing, too. You have more power over her and getting your money, or at least what's left of it, in your pocket than you think you realize, too. But anyway, Sandy, thank you for the membership. Sandy, what's up? Appreciate you. Nice tie-dye there. You know what? I did some tie-dye stuff in the past with the kids, and recently they were doing tie-dye. I thought they were cute. Little bitty tie-dye shirts. They're cute. Thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership, and welcome to Tugs Thugs. Appreciate you. Thank you. Bug Naked, thanks for the tune. Email Tug says filing fees. Okay. Let me check that. Thank you, brother. By the way. Yeah, that's that is wow, that is interesting. So look at this. This is crazy. We'll need to bring this up on another stream because not everybody will see it. But look at that. So with the AI, again, it's assuming with all of this is right, looking at the typical cost, if this is correct, if you had court filing fees of about $338 that they would have to pay, and then up to potentially $100 in course requirements, well, that really is close to $450, isn't it? So again, I'm not saying that's the reason, but that is an interesting, that is a very interesting idea. The people too that got all that money, they don't want to come off a dime of it. That $6,000 that already went to whomever. They don't want to pay fees. They don't want to do all of this stuff. I wonder if there is a sucker amongst the 2L group, by the way, that would pay fees for Lynette anymore. After everything that 2L and the gang have said, are there people that will help her with money? Because I'm not seeing them come up anymore. I'm not seeing anybody that will brazenly say, yes, I'll give money to this person. There are people that'll say, well, if I had money, that's nothing. Platitudes mean nothing. They do. They mean nothing. You can talk about these people being evil and terrible, but you're not speaking with your money. Like one day I hope some of the people that I've heard stories about that were taken advantage of monetarily, I hope they speak up one day. All of them. I hope they go forward. Sometimes, thank you, Bug Naked, by the way. That's crazy. Rosilla, thanks for the two. Cheapskate left off the song list channels. Oh, the which song list channels? Are you talking about the people who make songs? Is that what you mean? By the way, I would like a shout out group for real. It'd be nice. We need to give a list of channels for real. If somebody could do me a solid, I would like to see all of the channels that cover this. The channel, anybody that covers this, I would like to know who they are, because there are a lot of channels out there I don't. Now, I'm not promising to shout out anybody, by the way. But I would if I think you do solid work, I'd like to see what you do. And again, if there are a lot of people out there that probably they deserve a little bit of, hey, good job with that, for sure. So if somebody would make a list, and email that to me, that would be great. I would definitely appreciate that. I hate leaving off folks, so I'm not sure what, but I would like to remember everybody for sure. Rosilla, that would be good. You made me think that anyway. Man, Big L, yeah, the cricket. Can we take a moment and remember the cricket? The cricket. I mean, it brought a sense of laughter and camaraderie to people. There were so many people that said, I love that dear little cricket. It was the best of us. It was. And now it's no more. It feels like it, right? So if we could take a moment and remember that poor little cricket. Poor Cricket, for real. It probably did get the. It was the best co-host they ever had. Least annoying too. Lorraine thinks of Megan needs to take off every Monday. So new files. Yeah, or somebody has a meltdown. It's something great for sure. Rhea Wright thanks. I went to my first rock concert at 11. I was when I don't remember the first rock concert I went to. Funny enough, like when I was a kid, my parents were like, my mom was very religious, so I probably went to a concert when it was live rock or something. Later on, though, I went to all kinds of stuff. And again, I loved my mom. I appreciate the heck out of her. Good, nice person, great person. Great mom, great grandma. So with that, but I don't remember when I first went to my first rock concert. I went to a lot. I used to go to Atlanta. They had this place called the Masquerade, and they'd have all kinds of places from Typo Negative, KMFDM, all those wonderful, like Raymond Watts and Pig. I mean, just all those great bands from that 90s scene with Wax Tracks, and and then later on they pick up like again, like Peter Steele. Man, I really loved Typo Negative. I love listening to them live. They were great. They were a lot of fun. Sinking Cheek, thanks 5. I'm one of many who bring hell on anyone who messes with Logan Buck. Oh yes, for sure. I just don't want to know who CBS calls, so I'd ruin it. Me too, man. Me too. Oh, I think again, Cynic. I know people who said they had the address and everything, so I take their brazen threats. If these people, what they try to do is motivate people to do it publicly, but I take that as an acknowledgement that they would have already done it, So, but yeah, a name ever comes up and they're like, "Yeah, I did it for sure." All right, I will rain a hellfire down on them. I swear to you, I will. It would be the worst mistake they'd ever make. That's why they don't do it too, because they're cowards. They target children because they can't step with the big kids, so they have to target little bitty kids. That shows you who these people are too. All of them, when they so-called journalists and everything else, they talk a lot of smack. But they are real fast about that, But yeah, I agree with it. Thank you, Cynic. I appreciate it. Lori, thanks for the 5 there. Today's my father's 95th birthday. Oh, heck yeah. Still playing golf, man. That is awesome. I hope if I manage to live till 90s, I hope I'm coherent. I hope that I can go out and do things. I hope I can still pick up the microphone and have fun, We will see, but I hope so. Here is a well-deserved happy birthday
from both of us to
all
you.
Of us. Happy 95th birthday.
May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday. We love to have you here. Happy birthday. Here's to another year.
And love to you, my friend. That's great. Man, 95. That's awesome. Like I said, I hope to have all my faculties, and I hope I can sit forward and watch TV correctly. Playing golf, that's amazing. Kim, thanks for the 10. Happy birthday, Lug. Mine is Sunday, 61 years. Remind me, Kim, when we get closer, remind me. Somebody remind me, please. I want to give Kim, I could birthday song today, but I want to go closer to your birthday. Also, I want to bust you out one, like, because I like to bust them out right around the birthday. But hey, happy birthday to you, Kim. I hope you have great plans, man. Every year I find as I get older, I don't have the same mindset as a little kid, you know, like, oh, gifts, this and that. But every year I find that I take a moment and just appreciate like the year, like looking at it. And I try to take a handful of small moments that I appreciate, like little seeds, and I plant them into the next year. You know, these are the things that I enjoyed out of that year. And I want more of that for the next. Let's see. 1 minute here. Give me a second. Oh, man. Hey, friend. Thank you for that. That's awesome there. Appreciate that. Hey, just for you to get books or however you need. Thank you. Fritzy. What's up? Thank you, man. That's 100%. That's awesome. I will probably, like I said, it'll probably turn into I'll probably turn into a book. There's a couple of books I want for the month. There's a couple that come out at the end of the month. So books are crazy expensive these days. I like I read anything from paperbacks to I like mangas these days too. And there's a good series that's come up. Let's see. Give me 1 second. While I was loading it up, I was trying to pull this up here so I could tell you about it, but it's taking forever there. I like the series Vagabond, which is again, it's a manga there, but a lot of the old samurai movies that used to come on, they are based out of it, because of the real life person that it's based on. I've been reading on that. That's probably what I'll end up getting from it, to be honest. But yeah, I appreciate it. Reading is, I think, very important in life. I encourage my kids to read a lot. That's you learn more about vocab and you learn more about critical thinking from reading than anything else. So, all right, let me see who is up tonight. It is late. Let me see. Is Shizzy up? Let me see here. Yes, the Wiz is on. So let me set up a redirect. I just want to give some love. Again, even though I did the live stream the other day, there were other people that I had somebody write and was like, "What's the problem with you and Shizzy?" It's like, come on, man. I thought they weren't joking. If it was a joke, it'd be funny. But some people apparently they think if you don't live stream all the time that there's a problem. They would have been shocked back in the day when I didn't live stream with anybody. They'd think I didn't like anybody. But I'm going to redirect you to Shizzy today. All right. So I'm going to end here. I appreciate all of you folks. Tomorrow, I'm not sure what's happening tomorrow yet. We will have a live stream somewhere. Just keep your eyes out. And yeah, tell Shizzy, tug rate. Appreciate you folks. Later.